Lumberjack spirit. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. I got that Lumberjack spirit. Up in my head. Up in my head. Up in my head. I got that Lumberjack spirit. All over me. All over me. All over me. Oh!
It's time for Lumberjack football on 1240 KOFE AM St. Mary's, your home for Lumberjack sports all year long. Join Tim Parrish as he brings you the action live from the field. Gonna have a throw by Varda. Oh, it's a beautiful throw and catch to Julian Grimaldo. He's gone down the far sideline. Touchdown, Lumberjacks. Varda pitches it to Gibson. Gibson, he's still on his feet. Bounces off a couple of guys, gets the edge, and he's going to take it to the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks. We want to take a moment to thank all of our Lumberjack sports broadcast sponsors and hope that you'll do the same. Without them, these game broadcasts wouldn't be possible. Now let's take you to the field where Tim Parrish will bring you the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kickoff. And go Lumberjacks! And welcome, Lumberjack fans. Tim Parrish here at Lumberjack Field as your St. Maries Lumberjacks get set to take on Central Idaho League opponent, the Kellogg Wildcats, here tonight. JV game just wrapped up a few moments ago, and the Lumberjack JV football program or team took their first loss of the season. They lost to the Wildcats 36-0 in that first game of the evening. So we've got some more football action coming your way right here on KOFE with the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kickoff. We're also going to have honor the Lumberjack soccer seniors as they had their senior night just the other day. So we will recognize those as well. And then, of course, we have all the action live right here if you can't make it to the field, or maybe you're tuned into the pregame while you're headed out or getting ready to come out to the game. So in either way you're taking it, we welcome you to the broadcast. We are on our YouTube audio stream, also on the NFHS network now for football. I'm not sure if that is live just yet, though. Current temperature right now, 78 degrees, sunny skies. It's going to be a gorgeous night for football action, so stay tuned. If you can, come on out and cheer on the Lumberjacks in person. We're going to step away, take a quick break, and we'll come back with our interview that we had with head coach Greg Rouse.
At P1FCU, we're all about celebrating your wins, like finding a great parking spot, yes, or your team winning the championship. Oh, yes! Woo! Finding an extra $10 in the wash.
Whoa, lunch money.
Or winning the lottery. Your wins add up, just like earning 3.50% APY in an Ascend checking account. So let's celebrate the wins together. Open your account at p1fcu.org/win. P1FCU, your community, your credit union. APY is annual percentage yield. 3.50% APY applies for the first 15,000. Balances over 15,000 earn 0.21% to 3.50% APY. Additional qualifications required to earn 3.50% APY. Contact a P1FCU representative for details. Insured by NCUA.
Kenny and the crew at 10th Street Superstop invite you into the biggest convenience store in town. 10th Street Superstop is your one-stop shop for gas, propane, snacks, and ice-cold drinks. Stop in for breakfast or lunch, breakfast burritos and pizza to paninis and fajita burritos. 10th Street Superstop has something for everyone. Whether you're headed to a Lumberjack game or out into the woods, 10th Street Superstop is the place to stop for anything you may need. 10th Street Superstop on North 10th Street in St. Mary's.
Do you have a hazardous tree on your property? Do you need some trees or brush removed in preparation for a home or shop? You need to call Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing specializes in the removal of dangerous trees, pruning, thinning, and chipping. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing also has a bucket truck for those hard-to-reach areas. So if you're in need of some thinning, tree removal, and site preparation, call Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing. That's at 208-582-2134. That's 208-582-2134. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing.
And we have head coach Greg Rouse with the Lumberjack football program before the Lumberjacks take on Central Idaho League opponent, the Kellogg Wildcats tonight. So we'll first talk a little bit about last week's game with Freeman. You know, Freeman's always a tough team. St. Maries is, I mean, honestly, I did some numbers for the last several times that we played Freeman. This is the first time we scored more than once on the Scotties over the years that we've played them. But what are your thoughts on last week's game against Freeman?
You know, as far as the game went, again, it was kind of back to we beat ourselves. I really don't think the Scotties beat us. I think we beat ourselves, and it's just, you know, we're learning a new system. We're, you know, getting the hang of it, and, you know, there's a lot of mistakes, and you know, penalties got us again. You know, we were making different mistakes that we don't need to be making, but that's part of learning a new system. And so, you know, we're clicking. We're just not quite as, you know, efficient as we need to be in our execution. Otherwise, I think that'd be a wholly, you know, different game, in all honesty.
And you mentioned the penalties. 4 big roughing the passing calls last week. And I haven't seen that many roughing the passing penalties in one game, I don't think, in a long time. Is there some new emphasis on protecting the quarterbacks this year?
I think there always is. You know, they're sensitive to any kind of contact. It seemed a little, you know, I was like, really? You know, on a few of them, especially because it was kind of one-sided. We didn't get any against, you know, or on us, even though our quarterback was hit, you know, also after he released the ball. And so it's kind of a timing thing. I think what happened was the first one was legit. And so then they were sensitive to it and just kind of really watching it. And so they called it more. But, you know, I'm one of those as a coach, I really don't get after the kids on aggressive penalties because you want them to play. You want them to play with intensity. If it's, you know, illegal or a cheap shot, well, absolutely, I get after it, you know, and there's consequences for that. But if it's just a guy hustling and, you know, you get a pass interference or a late hit because he's just hustling, you know, you want kids to hustle.
Yeah. Had a couple of guys that seemed dinged up in that last game. How are things from an injury standpoint about midway through the season?
We got a few injuries. You know, it's kind of JJ, you know, he hit his wrist on a helmet, he said, and was kind of, you know, wondering, you know, what was the deal. And then he ended up going to the doctor on Monday and it was cracked. And so he's going to be out. Parents don't want him playing with it and do that. And I understand that. And so he'll be out for a little bit until that heals up. Cody rolled his ankle. So it was just a good sprain, you know, lateral collateral ligament, just kind of rolled it. And so, you know, he'll be coming back as soon as that heals up. We've got a little bit of cold and flu, you know, they're back to school, stuff like that. So we got a few guys, we got to do some shuffling. 2A football is always a little bit of musical chairs, you know, as guys get injured or sick or, you know, different things like that. And so we'll adjust, no problem. I think we'll be fine. We got guys that can step in.
All right. We're talking with head coach Greg Rouse before the Lumberjacks take on the Wildcats here tonight. We'll take a quick break and be back with more. The St. Maries Lumberjack Booster Club is looking for volunteers and active members to participate in the many activities the Booster Club does in support of our Lumberjacks. Lumberjack Booster Club provides much appreciated support to Lumberjack sports programs and is always looking for new active members and new ideas. The Booster Club is currently in need of new officers as well as volunteers to help with the Hall of Fame banquet and auction, spirit building, senior night, and more. Anyone interested can contact Lynn Masterson at 208-568-1802 or just come to a meeting at the fire station.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Idaho for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Archie's IGA is not only a proud supporter of Lumberjack sports, but a proud supporter of the St. Maries community and shopping locally. When you shop local, you help businesses support other local businesses, as well as helping your local businesses to provide jobs. Did you know that local business taxes help maintain communities and counties by fixing roads and maintaining recreational facilities? Local business owners invest in the community and have a vested interest in the future of our community. So won't you help Archie's IGA by supporting your local businesses and shop locally? Oh yeah, and let's not forget those Lumberjacks.
And we're back. Coach, you've got the Wildcats coming into St. Mary's tonight, Central Idaho League matchup. What do you expect to see out of Kellogg?
Kellogg's switched to the whole passing, spread offense, and so it's going to be the same, as far as doing that. They lost some talented kids in key positions, and so that'll have an effect on their ability to run that offense. But, they were decent in JV last year with it, and they've been working it. And so I expect to see the spread. Nothing new to us. That's what we've seen the last few weeks. So it's been great practice for us to face that over and over, because now is when it really matters. It's league play. Everything else is kind of a build up to that. But as we head into our league, we need to win every game in our league, and we're into the playoffs automatically.
And you mentioned that spread offense and the fact that they do, watching film, seem to throw the ball a lot. How important will it be to pass down, to shut down their passing attack?
I think it's going to be a big key emphasis. We've had a few weeks now to work on it. We've been moving some personnel, doing some different changes to get the right mix to be able to cover, the deep pass. And I think we've got it dialed in now. So I'm really kind of excited to see how it goes this week. See that we can shut it down. We've always been strong against the run, and we've been able to shut that down. They do run a little bit more, in all honesty, than they have in the past with this offense. Last year they didn't run at all. Now they actually have some run plays, but we'll be up on that and be able to get after it. I think defensively, we should be really, really efficient in the pass coverage. We've been working on it for a few weeks, and so it's really helped us get better.
What do you want to see out of the Lumberjacks tonight?
I just want to see, like I said, great pass coverage. We need to get good safety help over the top, which is something we've been lacking. We need to be able to shut down the long ball when they throw that fade or the 9 route. We need to be able to stop those big plays. And I think if we do that, we'll be great, defensively. And then offense, we just need to execute. We need to cut out the penalties and execute. And if we execute the offense we have, JV's been doing great with it and winning the same offense. And so we just got to get it down to where we execute. The kids are starting to catch on to it. And I really think this week we're going to be on our money.
All right. Thanks for talking to us, Coach, and good luck tonight.
Hey, thanks. Go Jacks.
That has been Coach Rouse with our pregame interview. We'll take a break and come back with more of the pregame after this.
Janelle Martin Holmes, your Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's, is a proud Lumberjack supporter because they're her hometown team. When it comes to insurance, that's also one reason so many people in St. Mary's choose Farm Bureau insurance. They have a complete line of insurance products, including auto, home, commercial, and life, plus they have great customer service and competitive rates. And they're also a local company with local agents right here in St. Mary's. So let's hear it for our hometown teams. Contact Janelle Martin Holmes, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's at 105 North 8th Street, St. Mary's.
Tax time is here again. I know, it's not your favorite. But at H&R Block, tax time is our favorite time of year. It's when our tax pros get to do what they love the most, help people. By getting to know you, they can make sure your return gets done right. It's not just about numbers, boxes, and forms. It's about personal care. So you get every credit and deduction you deserve. And with an average of 10 years experience, our tax pros get your taxes done right. Just one of the many ways Block has your back.
Tired of wasting your money on credit card processing fees? Call Flat Creek Payments. We will help you reduce or eliminate your credit card processing fees. Take a moment to review those fees you paid last month. You know, the ones that slipped through the cracks. Now imagine having all that money back in your pocket. Sounds awesome, right? Let Flat Creek Payments make that dream a reality. Call Flat Creek Payments today, 208-695-1056. That's 208-695-1056. Flat Creek Payments. Any adventure, any task, anytime. There's a Yamaha utility ATV for any ride and any rider. see the full lineup at St. Maries Sun Cycle. Adventure seekers can start with the trail-tested capability and comfort of the Yamaha Grizzly lineup. For the ultimate in mid-size ATV performance, check out the Yamaha Kodiak 450. And for those who mix work and pleasure, the Yamaha Kodiak 700 line devours chores and leaves room for adventure. Find your utility ATV at St. Mary's Sun Cycle or YamahaMotorsports.com. ATVs are recommended for use only by riders aged 16 years and older. ATVs can be hazardous to operate. Yamaha recommends an approved training course. For safety and training information, see your dealer or call 1-800-887-2887.
Tim Parrish back here at Lumberjack Field. Potlatch's #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kick off. Lumberjacks, Wildcats getting ready to do battle under the Friday night lights here. If you have time, come on out and cheer the Lumberjacks on. If you can't make it, you can find all the action on our on the air, KOFE 1240 AM. If you're outside of our signal reach, you can find it on our YouTube audio stream. That link is shared to our Facebook page. You can share that link around to family and friends that can't make it to the game as well, or our audio now on the NFHS camera here out at the football field. So we've added that finally. After a few years, got that added to it. I don't know if the NFHS link is up just yet, though. So we did say senior night the other night for the Lumberjack soccer team, so we're going to try to get through some Lumberjack seniors throughout the broadcast. So we will start right now real quick before we get on to our pregame. Kylie Boutelier, one of the first seniors. Her guardians, Brett and Tessa Boutelier. She has 3 years of playing soccer. After high school, she plans to go to college and get a business degree. Her activities in school include BPA, track, soccer, and golf. Her most memorable moment is when Nepheli almost kicked the goalie in the face and tackled her. She'd like to thank her family, her teammates, her friends, and especially her coaches, Amber and Tim. That is St. Mary's Lumberjack soccer senior, Kylie Boutelier. Now we'll take a quick look at the 2A Central Idaho League standings. The Kellogg Wildcats come into tonight's matchup with an 0-3 record. They lost to Newport, Washington last week by a score of 34-12. Their game after this one will be back at Peters Field in Kellogg, and they will be hosting Orofino on the 22nd. I believe it is also Kellogg's homecoming night. The Wildcats are 18th in the Idaho Sports Power Rankings, 16th in the Max Preps Power Rankings. The Lumberjacks also come into tonight's game with an 0-3 record. They lost to Freeman last week, 41-18. St. Mary's will travel over to Timberlake next Friday. The Jacks are 17th in the Idaho Sports Power Rankings, 17th in the Max Preps Rankings. The Grangeville Bulldogs, the lone Central Idaho League team with a win on the board. They are 1-2 on the year. They lost to Rogers High School out of Washington last week, though, 34-18. They are at New Plymouth tonight. They are 12th in the Idaho Sports Power Rankings, 15th in the Max Preps Rankings. The Orofino Maniacs also sitting at 0-3. They lost to Lewiston Freshmen last Wednesday, I believe it was, 29-28. And like I mentioned, they will be at Kellogg next week. They are 14th in the Idaho Sports Power Rankings, 22nd in the Max Preps Rankings. Taking a look at those overall polls and power rankings, in the Idaho Sports Power Rankings, the top 5 is North Fremont, Declo, Westside, Melba, and Wendell. In the coaches poll, once again, North Fremont sits atop the ranking. Westside, number 2, Declo, number 3, Aberdeen, number 4, and number 5 is Melba. In the media polls, once again, North Fremont, number 1, Declo, number 2, Westside, number 3, Aberdeen, number 4, Melba, number 5. In the Max Preps rankings, you guessed it, once again, North Fremont in that number 1 spot. The Westside Pirates, number 2, Declo, number 3, Bear Lake, number 4, and Aberdeen at number 5. One more senior from the soccer programs. We've got Kiera Jessen, her guardians, Josh Troll and Chantel Ravy. She has 1 year of playing soccer. After high school, she plans to go to college and get a degree in criminal justice. Her activities in school is soccer. Her most memorable moment is team breakfast after practice. She would like to thank her family, her teammates, and Amber and Tim for being amazing coaches. You're listening to the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union Countdown to Kickoff. When we come back, we'll take a look at sports from around the county. We'll be looking at the Lakeside Knights records and schedules, and also the Kootenai Warriors.
Hughes Ace Hardware wants to invite you to come in and take a look. Hughes isn't just about hardware. Whether you need dish soap and sponges to clean up after your husband's guys' night or storage solutions for your wife's shopping addiction, you can find it at Hughes. Come see the difference. Everything you need, from a blow dryer to replace the one your toddler dropped in the toilet to a bathroom scale to help your hubby stay on his fitness goal. Hughes Ace Hardware is the place to get the products you need and the help you want all the time, every time.
You always hear on the radio, cross the bridge to savings. But it's true. St. Mary's Harvest Foods has what you need when you need it. And if you don't see it, then just ask one of the friendly staff and they will gladly help you find what you need. From meat, super fresh produce, and dairy, St. Mary's Harvest Foods will save you big on the things you need the most. No time to cook tonight? Then check out the hot deli for something quick for dinner. St. Mary's Harvest Foods, where you truly can cross the bridge to savings.
Jack Fuel Trucking knows that there are few things as important as wise use of our natural resources. And by utilizing the chips in the manufacturing of lumber, that is exactly what is accomplished. If you look beyond the wood chips, you see an entire community of schools, churches, and businesses, and most importantly, people. Jack Fuel Trucking believes in the responsible harvesting of our natural resources. After all, when you take a close look, those aren't just chips, they're an entire community. Jack Fuel Trucking.
Do you need help finding that perfect gift? Looking for that personalized touch? Come to Jack's Pharmacy in St. Mary's and let us fill your balloons. Not only does Jack's carry all of your gift and party supplies, but we're here to serve you with all your personal care items. Come in and let our personal care experts help you find just what you need from our wide selection. If we don't have it, we can get it. Plan your party at Jack's Pharmacy, your good neighbor pharmacy, where you'll receive personalized service and attention.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Idaho. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
Tim Parrish here at Lumberjack Field. Paulette's #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kick off. Lumberjacks hosting the Wildcats in Friday Night Lights football action. First, though, another soccer senior for the Lumberjack girls team, Jamie Mueller. Her guardians, Mike and Shannon Mueller. She has 6 years of playing soccer. After high school, she plans to travel. Then she hopes to go to college for forestry or a nail technician trade school. Her activities in school are soccer and track. Her most memorable moment is when the light lit on fire at a home game and all of the long bus rides. She'd like to thank her mom and dad, Scott, Jada, Sammy, all of her teammates, and Coach Amber. That is Lumberjack senior Jamie Mueller. Taking a quick look around the county in sports, mainly looking at the Lakeside Knights and the Kootenai Warriors. Lakeside Volleyball, they lost to Wallace in 3 sets on the 12th. Their next action will be at Genesis Prep on the 19th. The football team for Lakeside, on to a pretty good start to their season. They beat Clark Fork they beat Deary 42-34 in their last action. They are hosting Clark Fork tonight over at the Fields in Worley. And from what it sounds like, that is going to be a pretty darn good game. That game is actually going to be on idahosports.com tonight. The Kootenai Warriors, their volleyball team lost in 3 sets to Mullen in their last action. That was on the 12th. They will be at Genesis Prep on the 14th. Their football team lost to Mullen 62-30 on the 8th. Their next action, it says on their schedule that they will be taking on Kendrick JV tonight. So that's around the county in sports. Let's take a look at another Lumberjack senior soccer girls here. Cammie Reimel, her guardians Lane and Amber Hutchison, and Derek and Brandy Reimel. She has 2 years of playing soccer. After high school, she plans to get a degree in psychology and become a teacher or a counselor. Activities in school include ASB, soccer, cheer, track, and National Honor Society. Her most memorable moment is dancing to Cotton Eye Joe for a pregame warm-up and Coach Tim making fun of her at practice. She would like to thank her mom, Laith, Cammie, all of her friends and family who made it here, and coaches Amber and Tim. That is Cammie Reimel. We'll take another break, come back with more of the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kickoff.
Afraid to touch that breaker box? Need some rewiring done? Call the professionals at M&S Electric. With nearly 40 years experience, there's no job too big or too small. From industrial and commercial to residential and service work, M&S Electric isn't afraid. Serving Benawah, Shoshone, Kootenai, and Latah counties, M&S Electric has you covered. Overhead work? M&S can do that too with their bucket truck. M&S Electric, 408 Main Avenue, St. Mary's. Give them a call, 208-245-3890. No job too big, no job too small. We do them all. M&S Electric.
For all of your area high school sports schedules, updates, and recaps, including Lakeside, Kootenai, and of course, St. Mary's High School, pick up your copy of the St. Mary's Gazette-Record every Wednesday. Not only will they have game recaps and highlights for area high school sports action, but local news and information. St. Mary's Gazette-Record, pick up a copy today.
For all your plumbing needs, call Nick's Plumbing and Heating. With 6 professional staff, you can be assured of guaranteed quality products, installation, service, and repair of all of your plumbing. So if you have plumbing needs or problems, call the good folks at Nick's Plumbing and Heating. Call 245-5460. That's 245-5460. Nick's Plumbing and Heating. Installation, service, and repair when you need it. Nick's Plumbing and Heating, St. Mary's.
When you need that morning pick-me-up before work or school, there's one place that comes to mind. It's a place that loves our community, the St. Maries Lumberjacks, and all the local businesses and people in our village. Shift and Grind in St. Maries is all about the community. Whether it's helping raise money for the Booster Club or for a family in need, the Shift and Grind family are always ready to help. So be sure to stop by Shift and Grind for your caffeinated needs. Located at 132 First Street in St. Maries, Shift and Grind says, go Lumberjacks! Tim Parrish back here at Lumberjack Field for the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kick off. The Lumberjacks hosting the Wildcats of Kellogg. Our final senior for the soccer girls, it is Sammy Sint. Her guardians, Brian Chase and Christy Masterson, and Jared and Megan Sint. She has 7 years of playing soccer. After graduation, she plans to attend college to become a brand inspector and livestock judge. Her activities in school include soccer, golf, basketball, ASB, BPA, and National Honor Society. Her most memorable moment was any time making fun of Jada. Poor Jada. She'd like to thank her mom, her dad, Brian, Megan, Kins, Bryce, Maddie, Carly, Jamie, Danica, Jada, Kaylin, Michelle, and Emmy, Jackson, Tim, the rest of her team members, and most importantly, Amber. And that is all of your seniors for the Lumberjack girls soccer team. Now back to the countdown to kickoff, brought to you by Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union. A quick look at the Lumberjack season stats so far. Offensively, the Lumberjacks are averaging just 16 points per game. They are averaging 253 yards offensively per game, just 77 yards passing and 176 yards on the ground. They are averaging 5 yards per pass attempt, 4 yards per rush attempt. The Lumberjacks have lost 1 fumble, but have thrown 7 interceptions. Third down conversions for the Lumberjacks is 31%. Fourth down conversions pretty good at 50%. Some of the leaders on offense, Jack Barter, the quarterback, he is a sophomore, 19 of 48 passing on the season, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, but those 7 interceptions kind of put a little bit of a mar on his stats, but he is coming along, and again, he is a sophomore. Trey Gibson, the senior, having a great season so far, carrying the ball for the Lumberjacks, 70 total carries, 440 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 yards per rush, and 147 yards per game. He has a long of 36, and he is averaging right about 23 touches per game. Julian Grimaldo, the leading receiver for the Lumberjacks, he has 5 receptions. He is a sophomore, 139 yards, 1 touchdown, 28 yards per reception, 46 yards per game. And Trey Gibson, he's a running back, but he also has 5 receptions for 53 yards. He has a touchdown. He averages 11 yards per reception, 27 receiving yards per game. On the defensive side, the Lumberjacks are allowing 33 points per game. I'm sure Coach Rouse and the rest of the coaching crew would like to see that number come down. They're also allowing 317 yards total offensively, 182 yards passing, 136 yards rushing. Third down conversions for opponents is 48%, which is not a number you want to see if you're a defensive coach. Fourth down conversions, again, 50%, not a number you want to see if you're Coach Rouse. The Lumberjacks have forced six fumbles on the season, though, and they do have one interception. The turnover battle right now is equal. Neither opponents or St. Maries is winning that turnover battle. We'll see if the Lumberjacks can change that this evening. St. Maries has only sacked the opposing quarterback twice, and I think, if I recall right, our quarterback has been sacked 5 or 6 times. So the offensive line needs to get a little bit better job of protecting Barta in the pocket. Defensive leaders, Cole Darnold, senior, 27 tackles so far on the season, 2 forced fumbles and a fumble recovery. Trey Gibson, he's a senior, 27 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles, and 4 fumble recoveries. He also has, I believe it was a defensive touchdown on one of those fumble recoveries. Roan Ford, he's a senior. He has 2 sacks on the season, 5 tackles for loss, 1 defensive touchdown, and that was on a fumble recovery for him. Julian Grimaldo, he has 1 interception for the Lumberjacks. This is the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union Countdown to tip off. We'll take a break, come back with more from Lumberjack Field.
It's time to winterize your home, and there's no better place to start than in everyone's hardware and lumber store, 10th Street Lumber. They have insulation, house wraps, stoves, and heaters. See their huge selection of power tools, paints, and painting supplies. And, of course, they have a full line of lumber supplies. Stop by 10th Street Lumber and see what they can do for you. And remember, 10th Street Lumber will deliver anywhere on 10th Street and Railroad Avenue, 10th Street Lumber.
Wondering how to manage your retirement nest egg? How big should it be when you retire? Contact Jenny Oaks at Gateway Financial Partners to get the answers to these and all your other financial questions. The securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC. With over 30 years of financial planning, give Jenny Oaks a call at Gateway Financial Partners today. The guidance is free. The experience is priceless. Call 245-5255. Triple X Feeds in St. Maries is your one-stop farm and garden shop. Everything from pet supplies to livestock feeds and supplies, Triple X Feeds has it. Horse supplies, they have that also. From saddle pads to bridles, Triple X Feeds can set you up. Triple X Feeds now has hay and alfalfa in stock as well as straw. Triple X Feeds, located at 130 East College Avenue in St. Maries, open 8 to 5:30 weekdays and 9 to 5 on Saturday. Triple X Feeds, a proud Lumberjack sports broadcast sponsor. Looking for a hard-working, reputable, licensed, and insured construction company in Benoit County? Need a remodel, pole barn, or deck? Whatever your construction needs may be, Colton Construction LLC is waiting for your call. 208-315-7333. Colton Construction LLC, licensed, insured, and ready to give you your free estimate today. Give them a call, 208-315-7333. That's 208-315-7333. Colton Construction LLC. Ask about their military discount. Now we are back. Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union Countdown to kickoff as the Lumberjacks hosting the Kellogg Wildcats. Last week, the Lumberjacks played another tough opponent. Freeman Scotty's always a tough team. And, well, when you play good teams and you commit over 100 yards in penalties, it really does not help your cause. You just can't give up that many penalty yardage. Penalties have been one of the big weaknesses so far of St. Maries this year, as they average 9 to 10 penalties per game and up in that 80, 90 yard per game in penalties as well. So it's really tough, whether you're playing from behind the sticks as far as having a first down and then committing a hold or something and getting back to 1st and 20, 2nd and 20. It's really tough to battle back from those kind of deficits. And also the other way, if you have that team on a 3rd and 15 of their own or a 3rd and 20, and then you give them an automatic first down on a hold or a PI, roughing the pass or something like that, those are just things that they hurt your team more than they help them. And like Coach Rouse said in the interview, sometimes it depends on the penalty, of course. Sometimes a PI saves a touchdown, pass interference. So sometimes it's not necessarily always a negative. And sometimes it's just like a
really close call on, say, a roughing the passer to where that's just bang, bang, and it's hustle by the defender. Sometimes you kind of, you just tell them to be a little bit more careful, but you like that hustle from them. So it's a fine line sometimes with some of the penalties, but they can hurt you in the long run. The Lumberjacks, that's one of the big things I just have been saying all season long, that they need to be able to curb the penalty issues. And especially if once they get into like tonight's game, a league game, then they got a couple of games non-league before they play another league opponent, but they need to be solid tonight on avoiding those penalties. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more.
Hey, honey, is this your course schedule for the fall? Yep. Let me see here. English, good. Chemistry, trigonometry, excellent. World history, I love world history. Baseball. Wait, baseball? Baseball isn't a course, honey.
Well, sure it is, Mom. High school sports are about so much more than winning and losing. They teach lessons that can't be taught in a classroom, like accountability and self-discipline, the value of teamwork. I may not be earning a grade, but I'm learning how to compete later in life. Isn't that what getting a good education is all about?
Yes, of course it is. I was just testing you.
What can teenagers here in Idaho learn from participating in high school sports? Plenty, as it turns out. That's why they're called education-based athletics.
High school sports. They're so much more than just a game.
This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
And we are back. Paul, that's number one Federal Credit Union countdown to kickoff here on KOFE. The Lumberjacks hosting the Wildcats. Speaking of the Wildcats, the 2A Central Idaho League opponent of the Lumberjacks. Like I said earlier, 0-3 on the season, 16th in max preps. They lost to Newport last week, 34-12. Last year, they had a solid season, 6-4 overall, 4-0 in league. They were the league champs last year. Their head coach is Dan Davidian in his fourth year. Key returners this year. Number 3, quarterback Reed Watcott. He is a senior. Number 21, Coulter Wood. He's a running back. He is also a senior. Wide receiver Coleman Blaylock. He is a junior. Offensive line, defensive lineman Ethan Spencer. He is just a junior. First team all-conference last year at his position. And offensive line and linebacker Tom O'Neill. Those are all players Lumberjacks are going to have to look out for this evening. Some key players lost last year for the Wildcats. Colby, everybody knows the Luna twins, Ripley Luna and Colby Luna. And both of them now at the University of Miami. They both set numerous state records for passing and receiving yards. And they were very, very tough competitors. The Wildcats, I'm sure, miss them. But I think even people here in St. Mary's are proud of what they've done and the fact that they are at that next level playing at the University of Miami. So a couple of guys that the Wildcats do miss, though, defensively and offensively. Some incoming players. This guy's a freshman. He's expected to be an impact early for the Kellogg Wildcats. Jacob Aurora, he is a freshman. He plays running back and linebacker. The Wildcats, like I said, coming off an impressive season last year, graduated quite a bit of talent off of that team. So they are not really necessarily rebuilding, but, restructuring, kind of all teams do it when they lose some very talented players. They started off the season 0-3. They've got losses to Moscow, which is a 4A team, North Fremont, a 2A team, and Newport, who is Washington. They are probably, I'm not sure what equivalent they are. They might be equivalent to a 2A school in Idaho. Last year, the Wildcats beat the Jacks 44-21 in Kellogg, but the Jacks are 10-7 overall over the Wildcats going back to the 09-10 season. The Wildcats have averaged just 18 points per game over those years, while St. Mary's has averaged 28 points per game against the Wildcats. The Wildcats offensively this year run a spread-style offense, as like a lot of the teams St. Mary's already faced, and they do like to throw the ball while doing some film study. The Wildcats throw the ball probably 70% of the time, and they run the ball 30% of the time. They might be saving some stuff for league play, so it could change up tonight. We'll have to wait and see. So, looking forward to a heck of a game here tonight. Both teams looking to get a first win, and it's a league win, so it's a big one for these guys. So expect the best of both teams. This game is very important, like I said, to both teams. The Jacks, once again, need to curb the penalties, find a little bit more footing in their passing game, and I believe St. Mary's might have a slight edge tonight, but we'll have to wait and see. again, penalties. St. Mary's can't commit all the penalties and expect to win a game. I look for St. Mary's to give the Kellogg a large dose of the run game tonight. Maybe some passes sprinkled in there to help keep the Wildcat defense on their toes. And like I said, should be a pretty good game this evening. We're going to take a quick break now. We'll just keep it right here for right now. Take a look at other sports. Soccer, boys and girls lost to Priest River on Wednesday. They will travel to Grangeville tomorrow. The girls play at noon. Boys play at 2. Volleyball lost to Kellogg on the 12th. They will be hosting Grangeville tomorrow, just varsity at 1 p.m. There is no JV game tomorrow. I believe where JV volleyball has suffered some injuries, so they're trying to get healthy so they can return back to action. Lumberjack football travels to Timberlake next Friday. The Vandals, they beat Nevada last week 33-6, and they are at Cal on Saturday. That'll be a 1 p.m. game. We should have that on the air. Boise State lost to UCF 18-16 last week. They host North Dakota on Saturday. That game at 9 a.m. The Seahawks lost to the Rams at home last week, and they are on the road this Sunday to the Lions, and that game scheduled for a 10 a.m. kickoff. We will have that game on the air. We're going to take a break. We'll be back.
St. Mary's Realty is a St. Mary's icon. Why? Because they are a team. They work for you. And they've been a team for many years. Whether you are buying your first home, looking for a recreational cabin, or selling your current home, St. Mary's Realty puts their team on it for you. So stop in or give them a call today at 245-4502 and let their team be your team. That's St. Mary's Realty at 726 Main Avenue, St. Mary's.
Riverbend Car Wash and Laundromat, located next to Harvest Foods in St. Mary's. Open 24 hours, we have washers and dryers of all sizes to get your laundry done quickly. If you'd like to get your laundry done in less than 5 minutes, take advantage of our drop-off laundry service where we wash, dry, and fold it for you. While you do your laundry, be sure to take advantage of our touchless automatic car wash, which has that great undercarriage spray to get the grime off. Riverbend Car Wash and Laundromat can be found at riverbendbubbles.com or call 208-582-4844.
When your car's not running right, you want an honest mechanic that provides quality work at an affordable price. That can be tough, unless your dad owns a repair shop. But in St. Mary's, times have changed. You have Jim's Auto, and they treat every customer like family. Get everything from regular maintenance to major repairs done at Jim's Auto and Tire Pros. Jim's Auto doesn't just offer oil changes. They're a full-service shop. Jim's Auto can diagnose that check engine light, change your brakes, and fix your alignment. Ask about Jim's Auto's new Express Lane with same-day or next-day oil and tire services. And don't forget, Jim's Auto is an authorized Tire Pros dealer with nationwide warranty, service protection plan, and free roadside assistance. Jim's Auto and Tire Pros located at 69 Milwaukee Road, St. Mary's.
And we are back, and real quick, one more sponsor that I haven't gotten a commercial put into for just yet, but Nellie's Kitchen over there at the River Pines Mall. We are welcoming them aboard as a Lumberjack broadcast sponsor. They are now serving breakfast all day long. They are open until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so stop by Nellie's and enjoy some delicious breakfast all day long. Over there, Clark is here. He can attest to the breakfast.
Oh, no problem with that.
Oh, man. Well, here's a couple. We've already gone through all of our countdown to kickoff. So, a lot of the Lumberjacks doing a little hype up, it looks like, over in the corner of the end zone here to the east side of the field. The Wildcats have disappeared to the locker room for the moment, and the officials standing out here as the sun starts to dip behind the mountains on a gorgeous night here for some football action. What would make it better? Well, of course, there might be some Kellogg fans out there listening, but of course, we're here to broadcast for the Lumberjacks, so I've got to say a Lumberjack win would be make it an even better night for Lumberjack fans, right, Clark?
Should be a pretty good matchup tonight.
I'd have to
go ahead.
Believe so.
Their passing attack against our defense, which has not been strong against the pass, and we'll see if that can improve tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if I think I told you a little bit. Kellogg, I broke down 3 of their films on Huddle, and they're about a 70-30 split pass to run.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that could change tonight for a league matchup. They could be holding stuff back, and then league, maybe they run it more. But you just never know what's going to happen in a league game.
In a preseason game, you don't want to show everything if you can, but at the high school level, that doesn't come into play as much. You want to get your kids to develop to be able to run an offense or a defense the way you want it to go all season long.
Yeah.
And then you always do incorporate a little bit more throughout the season.
So a quick look at a couple of upcoming events while we're still waiting here to get things rolling. Critter Care Yard Sale. They're having a yard sale over at the fairgrounds at the Walker Building this Saturday. So tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Benoit County Fairgrounds. All the proceeds go to the Critter Care Corporation. It helps low-income households with pet spay, neuter, and veterinary care.
Go ahead and say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, really.
I think you had trouble just with the one, but I understand.
And before I forget this one as well, I've got it written down here. Last week they announced at the football game the St. Maries Lumberjack Booster Club Hall of Fame Banquet and Auction is going to be held November the 17th at the Elks Lodge. It's the biggest fundraiser all year long for the Booster Club, so be sure to check that out. Also tomorrow, SPAN of Benoit County is having their Suicide Prevention and Awareness Run and Walk and Remember event. Once again, that is September the 16th. Check-in starts at 8:30 tomorrow morning, and walk starts at 10 a.m. This will be at the Cormana building. Coffee Radio has been invited to set up and play music for the event, so stop by and say hi. And the Community Shred It Day, Saturday, September the 30th. If you have anything you need to shred, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., that'll be in the Eagles parking lot. Clean out your old files in a safe way to destroy sensitive documents. Please, no metal, spiral notebooks, or butterfly clips. Staples and paper clips are okay. This is sponsored by your local Eagles Fraternal Order of the Eagles Auxiliary, 2012. If you have any questions, contact Helen Muffley at 208-582-2136.
So what date's that again? I want to know about that one.
That is September the 30th.
Sounds like I've got some documents that can get shredded finally. That's good.
And I haven't verified this, but we got a road game next week against Timberlake. I think the following week we have Bonners Ferry coming to St. Mary's. That is homecoming week. I don't know for sure, but hopefully it does happen. I hear that the soccer games might be played on the new field. So for homecoming, they might get that going out there, which would be very cool. So just keep that in mind.
I just drove by that field. It looked very nice, at least for soccer. I wouldn't say that for baseball.
Not yet, no. I mean, the mound in the softball field is kind of big, and they don't even use a mound. So, they need to get that kind of squared away. But in any case, that's moving right along. A big thank you to the Booster Club, to all of the entities around St. Mary's that have donated and provided their help to get that thing built. And that's going to be a heck of a field and setup when it's finished.
It's going to be an exciting place to have some sports like that. It'll be nice for the varsity baseball team for the spring season to be able to play on that field with no issues. American Legion will put in a little plug for their baseball, of course. They're getting their field ready for next year. It looks really sharp right now, but we don't play fall baseball, so it doesn't matter.
So I hear that we're going to have some words read from Coach Teft before this game, I think even before the national anthem. So we're going to kind of try to listen here, and I'll turn on our crowd mic.
Longtime head football coach Craig Teft has been battling cancer. Tonight I talked to Craig Teft, and he wanted me to give a message to the team. This is from Coach Teft. Good luck tonight, Lumberjacks. Continue to play with pride. I really miss being around you players and coaches. To my son, Cody, you amaze me more and more each day. Your mental toughness through everything in life has thrown you, makes me happy to call you my son. Keep chopping and go Lumberjacks.
And now our national anthem. Everybody take your hats off, please.
And that was the national anthem, and we're just about ready to get things rolling. Actually, I had a text message from Coach Teft a little while ago, too. He'd asked if we got our audio connected up to the NFHS camera, and I believe we did. We actually got a positive email over to Dakota Wicker, the AD, about the quality of our broadcast with the NFHS camera last week. So make sure, let us know if that is coming across on the NFHS network pretty good or not, because I need to know. I can't completely check it in the middle of the game. I can at halftime during our senior interview. I can make sure it's working, but I haven't had a chance to dive in and make sure it's working so far today. Take a look at the starting offense, at least my starting offense that I pointed out watching film for the Kellogg Wildcats. It'll be the number 2, 5'9", 160-pound sophomore running back, Andrew Lewis. At quarterback, the 6', 160-pound senior, Reed Watcott, number 3. One of the wide receivers, 5'10", 170-pound senior, Blake Colburn, number 11. Then we've got the 5'11" sophomore. He is a 165-pound wide receiver, Radley McDonald. Number 41, he's a 5'10" junior wide receiver. He's also a kick returner. It's Wyatt Story. Junior wide receiver, number 45, Coleman Blaylock. The center for the Wildcats, number 50, Riley Cleet. The right guard for the Wildcats, number 51, Ethan Spencer, 245-pound junior. Next one is the right tackle, 5'10", 175-pound senior, number 52, Jack Fields. Then we've got the junior right guard, 6'5", 350-pound junior, number 62, Alex Jones. And right guard, 5'10", 175-pound junior, number 64, Tom O'Neill. Of course, we all know the Lumberjacks get introduced as a team. No starting lineup for them. And now we wait for the opening coin toss and see who's going to do what. I would imagine if the Lumberjacks win that coin toss, they will defer to the second half and make Kellogg go on offense first. But we'll see what happens there and see what the Wildcats decide, or what whoever wins decides to do. The captains for tonight, Trey Gibson, Julian Grimaldo, number 69, Jason Thompson, and number 50, John Kennelly. For the Wildcats, they have 3 captains. Number 5, it is Jager Hall. Number 7, Ramsey Rainio, and the number 50 of Riley Cleet.
Looks like Rainio is not dressed for play tonight.
Yeah, I was noticing that. Well, some of these teams, St. Mary's a little bit bit by the injury bug as well. Cody Teft out tonight. He sprained his ankle last week. Luckily, it's only a sprain. He should be back to action fairly quickly. And then in the pregame, Coach Rouse said that you got the normal beginning of school colds going around as well.
Getting acclimated to being around the students again on a regular basis.
Taking a look at a little quarterback comparison. We talked about that a moment ago. These two quarterbacks really kind of, I don't have stats for the Wildcats, but as far as, I guess looking at sacks and interceptions, Jack Barta has been sacked 4 or 5 times on the season. He has 7 interceptions, and the Wildcats, Reed Watcott, he's been sacked 6 times. He has 6 interceptions thrown. So both defenses probably chomping at the bit. Still going over, looking at the coin now, it looks like.
I got to tell you, it's just a beautiful night to play some football here. Look at that sunset over there and over in the west. It's nice and pleasant temperatures tonight. Not many people wearing sweaters yet.
No.
They'll probably be doing that once that sun's completely set. But right now, just a gorgeous time.
I don't know what temperature is supposed to be at kickoff, but it was at about 78.
Still sitting around 74 right now, according to my watch, anyway.
So the Lumberjacks won the toss. They will defer to the second half. They will kick, and the Wildcats will receive. St. Mary's will kick from right to left. They will be defending the west goal, and the Wildcats defending that east goal. The kick returners for the Wildcats, from what I've looked at, is Radley McDonald and Wyatt Story. Kicking for the Lumberjacks is going to be, I believe, Riley Abel. They've been working on some stuff that involves somebody else actually kicking the ball, but Riley Abel is taking most of the kicks this year. But when you try to get a little bit of trickery on those onside, sometimes you have somebody else kick that ball.
I guess it depends on availability, too, at times.
Yeah.
You just never know. At the high school level, kickers they're hard to find. Decent kickers.
Well, Lumberjack and the kicker they were bringing up to play some for the varsity was off of the JV, and he had a heck of a good game against Freeman kicking the ball. He had a great onside kick, but then he hurt his knee, so he's out tonight.
A kicker hurting his knee, not a good thing to do.
Riley Abel wearing some pink socks out there tonight, Clark.
That's
definitely won't miss him on the field this evening.
Sure enjoy working with Riley when he plays American Legion baseball and just getting to see him around. He's a hard-working athlete.
Riley is our senior spotlight interview at the half, so be sure to stay tuned in for that. Lumberjacks looking kind of set up for that onside kick, and they do have another guy kicking it. Kind of a deep kick, not deep as pertaining to a onside kick.
Ended up at the 39.
Yeah.
Tim. If you want to go with the 40, you can do that, but we know where it actually is.
I think that was number 11. The recovery, there was no tackle.
No need because they recovered it on the ground.
And Clark set the 39-yard line. So that's where the Wildcats will start. They come out with 4 wide receivers right off the bat. Wildcat has a running back lined up behind him. Numbers a little bit tough to see on these Wildcats, at least on their side of their jerseys. And they go deep, looking
on that first play,
looking for the 45 of Blaylock, and it's incomplete on coverage. It looks like it was Gerard Dittman breaking that play up.
He was covering pretty well on that too. So if that ball had hit its mark, I really think our defender would have had it, at least knocking it down.
Wildcats right back to the line of scrimmage. This time they've got 3 wide receivers to the top of the formation, 1 down below. Wildcat in the shotgun with the 2 of Lewis behind him. Wildcat keeps it. I think it was Wildcat that kept it.
And he loses a yard in the process or gets back to maybe the line of scrimmage.
I have Kennelly, the tackle, I believe.
Wrong Ford on the tackle.
Well, they say wrong Ford. We'll give it to Ford.
So we got 3rd and 10 right here.
So 3rd and long for the Wildcats. 3 wide receiver sets this time, 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Wildcat takes the snap, looks, he's going to throw it into the shallow route. It's caught, but brought down before the first down. It was caught by Coburn. The tackle by
Gibson.
There
was no yards after that catch. So there's about gain of maybe 4. And it looks like they're bringing out their punting unit.
And their punter is McDonald, number 33. Grimaldo and Gibson back deep for Lumberjacks.
I think all the Ronaldos have grown up now, so I don't think we have any of them playing.
Got the snap, good snap. The kick is off. Nice booming kick. Gibson fields it at the 25, brings it near side, runs over one of his own guys, and it'll be brought down at about the 43.
Kim add another yard to it, 44.
Didn't see who made the tackle for the Wildcats. So the Lumberjacks come out with their first offensive possession. A couple of these games, they've started really well in their first possession. Last week, they scored nice, methodical march down the field, but after that, they couldn't do much else against Freeman. So the Wildcats come out with the Lumberjacks come out, 1 to the near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Barta under center, takes the snap, hands off to Gibson. Gibson stiff arms one guy, gets the edge for a moment, tripped up and picks up about 4. We'll call it 3. And they're saying that Tanner Williams, the number 40 for the Wildcats, with the tackle. Second down and 7 for St. Mary's on their own 47-yard line. No score, early first quarter. 1 receiver to the near side. It's Grimaldo. Everybody else in tight. Barta under center, takes that snap, hands it off to Gibson. Gibson finds some room to run. He's shedding tacklers and stepping out of tackle. Finally gang tackled by the Wildcats. But it's about a
10-yard
pickup.
Gibson on the carry. First down for the Lumberjacks.
That ball taken to the Wildcat 42-yard line. 43-yard line for 10-yard gain. It took half the Wildcat squad to bring him down.
Well, he got past past all the action in the trenches very quickly, and so they were preceding him.
Now they've got to fix the scoreboard. The scoreboard says 1934. Just got an update from the people in the booth over there. They said that the scoreboard was malfunction. They do have a secondary time in the booth.
Looks like it's back to what it's supposed to be.
Same formation for the Jacks. Barta under center, hands it off again to Gibson. Gibson finds another small gap, and he's just powerful runner. Looks like about another 8-yard pickup for Gibson. All the way up to the 35-yard line. 8-yard pickup. And again, a gang of Wildcats to take down Gibson. Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Same formation. Grimaldo, the only wide receiver, split out. Barta hands it off again to Gibson. Gibson testing that same side of the line. This time a short gain, but still picks up a couple.
Gibson on the carry.
And again, gang tackled by the Wildcats.
This one is going to be second and about.
Second and 2. He picked up about a yard on that one.
Third and 1, 3rd and 2. The ball up to the Wildcat 34-yard line. This time Grimaldo splits out to the far side of the field. No receiver to the near side. Barta under center takes snap. Hands off to Gibson. Big hole for Gibson this time on his feet. He's down to the 10-yard line. Is he going to take it all the way into the end zone? Touchdown, Lumberjack. Trey Gibson with all of the work on this first series for the Lumberjacks. Hits pay dirt on the Lumberjacks' first series with the 34-yard touchdown run. And the Lumberjacks get on the scoreboard first. Lumberjacks have been working on some extra point kicking, so we'll see what they do here.
He just powered over a few of those Kellogg guys to get that touchdown. Very nicely done. I don't
Lumberjacks showing that they're going for the two-point conversion. One receiver each side of the formation. Bart is going to keep it himself. Can they get the pile pushed? And they're going to shove him right into the end zone. That should be half a two-point conversion for Gibson because he helped push him across, but it is going to all go to Barta. And the Lumberjacks take the lead 8-0 with 8:19 to go in the first. We'll be back.
At P1FCU, we're all about celebrating your wins, like finding a great parking spot, yes, or your team winning the championship. Oh, yes. Woo! Finding an extra $10 in the wash.
Whoa, lunch money.
Or winning the lottery. Your wins add up, just like earning 3.50% APY in an Ascend checking account. So let's celebrate the wins together. Open your account at p1fcu.org/win. P1FCU, your community, your credit union. APY is annual percentage yield. 3.50% APY applies to the first 15,000. Balances over 15,000 earn 0.21% to 3.50% APY. Additional qualifications required to earn 3.50% APY. Contact a P1FCU representative for details. Insured by NC Road.
And we are back. St. Mary's leads 8-0 over the Wildcats. Midway through the first quarter, Riley able to kick off for the Lumberjacks. Again, a little pooch kick short. That's going to get away. Who comes up with it? The Lumberjacks recover the onside kick. And that was, who recovered that? Number 24, Jared Brebner, falls on the onside kick at the 49 of Kellogg. So Lumberjacks still a possession away from the Wildcats. St. Mary starts 1st and 10 on the Wildcat 49-yard line. See Kyle Smith out there, sophomore defensive end here on this, or offense. He's an obviously offensive player right now.
Very good, Tim.
The handoff to Gibson, and he's going to pick up about 4.
Mm-hmm.
Brought down by, it looks like the 5 of Hall and the 21 of Lopez. Who was the number 5? And I missed that play, but Gibson again up the middle for a couple of yards. Now
we got a scrum going on now.
Yeah, not really a fight, just a little scrum going on, and flags fly. So who's that going to go again?
Probably both.
I think it was Brebner, and who's that, 51 of Ethan Spencer. Unsportsmanlike against both teams, so it'll be offsetting. No harm, no foul, but you don't want to. The only foul that is now is that if it's like the NFL or any of the other things, I think 2 unsportsmanlike get you out of the game.
Yeah, it's the same player, definitely. And they're recording it right now, the numbers.
So I think that basically just wipes that play away.
Well, they haven't moved it back yet. Now looks like they're about to. Nope, they are not. That was a dead ball foul, I guess.
They actually moved it forward.
Gain of 1 on the penalty. I don't know what that is.
Second and about.
2nd and 5. I thought we.
Yeah, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, somewhere.
No,
actually,
down,
3rd.
Down, but it should still be 2nd down. I mean, that was a first down play, wasn't it, Tim? I thought it was.
I don't recall.
Doesn't your little computer tell you everything you need to know?
Oh, wait, I didn't finish tagging the play. There we go. Now we do get a run by Barta. He keeps it himself, and none of that matters if it's 3rd or 2nd.
Barta, got a first down, I think, here.
Yeah, it picks up 6 yards, it looks like. Just to the 38-yard line, 39-yard line?
39-yard line. Remember, Tim, you're off by 1. That's what I'm here to help keep you straight.
Well, Lumberjacks work in the middle of the field at the moment.
Right now, Kellogg doesn't seem to have any answer for Trey Gibson or any of the run that's going on right now.
Same formation, 1 receiver top of the formation for St. Mary's. Barta under center. Somebody from the defensive line gets through and trips up Barta. He just gets the handoff to Gibson. He powers forward for about 8 or 9 yards.
They're right on the 30.
Right on the 30-yard line. 9-yard pickup for Trey Gibson, his 7th carry of the game.
2nd and 1 for the Jacks.
So it brings up 2nd and 1 for the Lumberjacks as they continue to move the ball down the field. 2nd possession for St. Mary's. 1 receiver to the near side, that's Grimaldo. Everybody else in tight. That's heavy left, I believe. Going to take the handoff to Gibson again, find some opening room, and he's going to power forward up to, looks like, the 25-yard line for another Lumberjack first down.
That's another Lumberjack.
1st and 10 for St. Mary's.
Lumberjacks from the Kellogg 25.
Same formation here. This time Barta telling Grimaldo something. That kind of almost tells me this might be a pass play as he's telling the receiver. We'll see. Nope, hand off to Gibson. No, it was a fake pass, and we got a flag.
Could be a hold.
Gibson picks up 13, it looks like.
Yep.
Was made by Jaeger Hall.
Tackle made by.
Bring it back, holding against the Lumberjacks.
But it is a hold against St. Mary's, so the big game negated by the first penalty of the game for the Lumberjacks, if you want to count ones that were accepted anyway.
Have there been any other flag? Well,
nope.
There was the unsportsmanlike, but that's not an accept or not. It's just what it is.
So it's a 10-yard penalty.
1st and 20.
1st and 20 backed up to the 35-yard line. So Lumberjacks, again, this is only the first penalty of the game officially accepted, but these are the ones that have hurt St. Mary's in other games. Get the good drive going, then they back themselves up. 1 receiver near side. Barta hands it off to Gibson. The Wildcats they were into the backfield, but Gibson just juked them out to the far side and was able to pick up about 4 yards. That ball is up to the 30 now.
So you got 2nd 15, it looks like.
Tom O'Neill on the tackle for Kellogg. So brings up 2nd and long for the Lumberjacks. This time, Grimaldo, top of the formation. They're still using that one receiver split out look. Barta takes snap, pitches it to Gibson. Gibson finds a little room to run as he shuffles through the line, gets up to about the original line of scrimmage, now to the 25-yard line.
So we got 3rd and 10. Do we look like we might do a pass here? I mean, we've been running the whole game.
I don't know, Clark.
Was that my call to make on
we're
that?
deep into the positions, into the down on that side, so it's 2 possessions.
This should be 2 down territory right here. Yeah.
So Grimaldo up to the top of the formation, lone receiver out wide. This time, keeper by Barta.
Can't go anywhere.
Looked like it was supposed to be a little bit of a draw play, and he's going to lose maybe a yard.
O'Neill and Hall on the tackle for Kellogg.
O'Neill and Hall on the tackle. No gain.
That is not a field goal area for our kickers. I'm sure of that.
Well, I think they were definitely hoping to get about half of that to make the 4th down a tad bit easier, but I don't think the Lumberjacks are. Well, let me see.
They're still out there. That's not the issue. I think they're just deciding what they're going to make as a call here.
Yeah. Normally, this would probably be a throw.
But hey, Gibson's been running successfully, but they might key on him now.
Grimaldo top of the formation. We've got a wide receiver here to the near side. The fake handoff, couple of guys in the backfield pressuring, caught by Brevner. Doesn't get enough. I don't think so. I think he's about a yard short.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a good try for the Lumberjacks there, but just couldn't quite get that extra yard they needed.
Barta had to get rid of it a little sooner than he probably wanted to also. They were right in his face. Good composure is the word I'm looking for. For you and the radio people that are listening, I am not incompetent. I really do know how to speak, but not right now.
But again, there goes that penalty that really set them back. 4 wide receivers out for the Wildcats. They're stacked, 2 on each side. The snap to Watcott, looks to throw, little throw over the middle. Caught, but immediately tackled.
The good thing that I'm seeing so far with the defense is on a completion, there is no yards after catch going on here.
No. It was about 7 yards.
That was a good, it's looking like 7, yep.
I believe it was Cole Darnold on the tackle for the Lumberjacks. This time they've got 3 receivers to the near side, 1 up top, handoff up the middle to Lewis.
And that goes nowhere. Except a loss, it looks like maybe of a yard.
Looks like Cole Darnold or wrong. Cole Darnold in there again on the tackle.
So it looks like it's still 3rd and 3.
Lewis was the runner.
2:43 in the quarter.
They say it was Keneally on the tackle. That's who I'll give it to. We've got 3rd and 3. Going to get a throw across the middle and just behind Jager Hall. And Lumberjacks almost able to pick it off.
They put their hands on it too. So that makes it 4th down.
4th and 3 for the Wildcats. Deep on their own side of the field, so I don't expect them to be going for it here. Should bring McDonald out to punt for the Wildcats. Gibson waiting about the 45 of St. Maries. Now he comes up a little bit. We've got Grimaldo stacked in front of him. It's kind of a 2-layer there of their return. Now we got some confusion. There's 3 guys for the Wildcats having to get off the field. Those are some big boys.
Yes, they are.
A little bit of a high snap. They get it away. Booming high kick. Gibson calls the fair catch. And the Wildcats are going to get flagged. Gibson makes that catch at about the 44 of St. Maries.
That's going to be fair catch interference on Kellogg.
I'll finish tagging that and I'll add a penalty to it. Well, I can't add the penalty to it later. I will just fix that in a moment. 'Cause sometimes on any app I've used for stats for football, and Huddle has been no different. Sometimes when you do something on a punt, it doesn't record things properly sometimes. So I will just adjust the yard line once we know how far they're going to mark it off. It's probably about a 10-yard penalty. So the ball is going to be on the 40.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
The ball is on the 42 of Kellogg. Or the 42, right?
I'd say maybe.
So first and
41.
Well,
we want to be consistent.
Somewhere in
Tim.
there.
We want to be consistent. 1 yard off.
And one receiver top of the formation, one to the bottom this time. Man goes in motion. Hand it off to Gibson. Gibson with a nice hole. Finds the edge here near side. Down to the 25. Steps away from another tackler. All the way down to the 11.
That's some bad tackling on that play by Kellogg.
Tom O'Neill finally makes the tackle.
I don't want to be too critical, but it's just what it was on that. Gibson's just a stout going down the field like that.
Which way am I going? Oh, never mind. What did I say? Down to the 11?
Yeah, it is. It's the 11-yard line.
Big run. I forgot to look and see how big. A 31-yard gain for Gibson. One receiver to the near side. Gibson in the backfield. Barta under center. Barta takes the snap. Hands it to Gibson. Gibson finds some room to run. Sidesteps another defender. Dives forward. He might be just a little short of the goal line.
Yeah, so it's first and goal, though.
I think he takes that down to the 1 or so.
It looks like that's where they marked it.
So it's first and goal for the Lumberjacks at the 1 yard line. St. Mary's brings one receiver to the near side. That's Wyatt Holmes. Barta under center. Takes the snap. Hands off to Gibson. Gibson
He's in.
is in the end zone. 1 yard run by Gibson for the Lumberjack touchdown. Lumberjacks lead 14-0 with 1:29 to go over the Wildcats here at Lumberjack Field tonight to get things going. JV team lost tonight 36-0. It was their first loss of the season.
And to lose that soundly, I'm sorry to hear that.
It was a rough one for them. Lumberjacks again going for 2. I know they've got Riley Abel probably itching to get to kick an extra point, but one receiver top, one receiver bottom.
That's not going to happen right now.
Oh, and the ball is loose. Nope.
That was a throw.
Extra point.
It's no good, regardless of what it was. I know it looked like Barta got stepped on. So the Lumberjacks lead 14-0 with 1:29 to go over the Wildcats here in St. Mary's. We'll be back.
Kenny and the crew at 10th Street Superstop invite you into the biggest convenience store in town. 10th Street Superstop is your one-stop shop for gas, propane, snacks, and ice-cold drinks. Stop in for breakfast or lunch, breakfast burritos and pizza to paninis and fajita burritos. 10th Street Superstop has something for everyone. Whether you're headed to a Lumberjack game or out into the woods, 10th Street Superstop is the place to stop for anything you may need. 10th Street Superstop on North 10th Street in St. Mary's.
Do you have a hazardous tree on your property? You need some trees or brush removed in preparation for a home or shop? You need to call Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing specializes in the removal of dangerous trees, pruning, thinning, and chipping. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing also has a bucket truck for those hard-to-reach areas. So if you're in need of some thinning, tree removal, and site preparation, call Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing. That's at 208-582-2134. That's 208-582-2134. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing.
And we're back as Riley Abel lines up the kick team, gets things set off for this next kick. St. Mary's recovered
and he
one.
still hasn't kicked it.
And he still hasn't kicked it. It's going to be recovered at the 45 of Kellogg by the number 5, and he's going to get a nice return over to the Lumberjack 30.
Short kickoff.
That was Hall with the run on that. And I think you got it to about the 29 of St. Mary's. Very good field position to start with. 1:20 left in the first quarter.
First
Not sure who made the tackle there for the Lumberjacks that far across the field. Couldn't quite see.
Bring me some binoculars, Tim.
Yeah.
I'll try to help you out in the future.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Best field position so far. 1 receiver, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Wildcat in the shotgun. He's got Lewis behind him. Takes the snap. Quick little throw out into the flat to Hall. Hall makes the catch, has some blockers in front of him, and he's going to be taken out of bounds at about the 21 by Brock Anderson.
That's a good first down, it looks like. Yep.
Where did I say? The 16-yard line?
Yeah, that's a first down.
13-yard gain on the catch and run by Jager Hall. 2 receivers to both sides now for the Wildcats. Wildcat takes a snap, looking to throw again. He's going to go deep to the end zone. And good coverage down there by the Lumberjacks. That is Wyatt Holmes on coverage. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. Of course, this far down in Lumberjack territory, they're in 4 down territory. Again, the Wildcats have Wildcat in the shotgun. Lewis lined up behind him. 1 receiver to the near side, 3 to the top of the formation. The snap. Wildcat looks to throw. He's going to throw it into the flat to Lewis. Charging up to try to make the catch, but missing the make the tackle was Dittman. Cleaning it up, though, is Grimaldo.
Couple yard gain on that. Not much. 3rd and 8. That'll probably be the last play of the quarter.
Yeah, time running down, and the Wildcats headed over to the sideline. At the end of the first, it's the Lumberjacks leading 14-0. The Wildcats threatening, though. 3rd and 8 on the Lumberjack 14. We'll be back.
The St. Maries Lumberjack Booster Club is looking for volunteers and active members to participate in the many activities the Booster Club does in support of our Lumberjacks. Lumberjack Booster Club provides much appreciated support to Lumberjack sports programs and is always looking for new active members and new ideas. The Booster Club is currently in need of new officers as well as volunteers to help with the Hall of Fame banquet and auction, spirit building, senior night, and more. Anyone interested can contact Lynn Masterson at 208-568-1802 or just come to a meeting at the fire station.
And we are back, and since we do have an extra moment as they switch sides of the field, we will recognize one of the Lumberjack senior soccer players. The first senior on that roster is Ben Martin. His parents, Ed and Alicia Martin. He has 9 years of playing. After school, he plans to attend lineman school. Activities in school include soccer and track. His most memorable moment is throwing rotten apples at Remy while running around town. He'd like to thank his mom and dad and the freshmen for joining so there could be a team this year.
I don't know about that throwing the stuff. I'll tell you.
Boys will be boys.
Oh, I guess so.
And that is Lumberjack soccer senior Ben Martin.
Way to go, Ben. Throw some apples whenever you get that chance. Just not at me.
They're still getting everybody situated here. Reset of the action. 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats. Lumberjack 14-yard line. Now the Wildcats going right to left on your radio dial. Of course, if you're listening on YouTube, then it's going right to left on your computer screen.
And you're actually seeing it, too.
Well, no, not on YouTube.
Oh, that's right.
That's just audio. If the NFHS feed's working, though, with our audio.
Well, then maybe you got a chance.
Looks like they've got 2 receivers to the top of the formation. They're still kind of huddled up. The official's actually talking to the Kellogg offense. Not for sure why, of course, but
maybe they're giving them a play to do.
I didn't realize that these refs actually wear headphones and microphones.
They talk to each other out there. This is the first year they're allowed to use electronic equipment.
For the refs?
For the referees.
I noticed they had walkie-talkies. So the scoreboard says 2 minutes, but they've got to get that squared away. We know it's the start of the second. And
they're going to be doing something interesting with baseball this spring as well. They're going to be able to communicate with their catcher, the coaches, to be able to call the pitch.
So 2 receivers top, 1 receiver bottom for the Wildcats. Wildcat in the pistol takes the snap. rolls to the left or to the right, looking over the middle. It's caught into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. The completion to Drayden Taylor, and the Wildcats get on the scoreboard.
That was a very nice pass. Well, and the receiver did get up there and reach up for that catch, too.
Yeah, he really elevated. Drayden, pretty sure he's a basketball player. He's a sophomore, 150 pound, 6'1". Wide receiver and defensive back for the Wildcats. Wildcats going for two. They've got two receivers down here to the near, actually looks like three to the near side. One to the top of the formation. Lewis lined up behind Watcott. Watcott in the pistol. Takes the snaps and look to throw. Looking at the last minute. Unloads and overthrows his intended receiver. The conversion is no good, and the Wildcats trail 14-6 to the Lumberjacks, and we don't know how much time is left in the quarter because the clock is not currently operating. So we'll be back after this.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Idaho for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Now we are back, and a big shout out to Dakota Wickard, the new AD here in St. Mary's, doing a really good job in a tough position. I mean, it's a tough job to be, to take care of that.
And to fill the shoes that she's filling, not easy either.
It's going to be the Fort picking that up at the 15, tackled at the 30. The kicker, number 33, McDonald.
Lumberjacks, and they're all in 31.
So where did I say you picked that up at, the 15?
That's what you said.
Hopefully it was the 15.
Well, you don't want to deceive your audience, Tom.
Oh, what matters is the final position at the 31-yard line. First and 10 for the Lumberjacks at their own 31. Milo Marsh splits out to the near side as a wide receiver up at the top of the formation, Wyatt Holmes. Varda under center. Gibson in the backfield. And who keeps the ball this time? Looks like it's DeFort with a nice gain for the Lumberjacks. Running to the near side. Call a 6-yard pickup.
Fields on the tackle for Kellogg.
Jack Fields on the tackle for the Wildcats. Lumberjacks did we throw it? Yeah, we threw it once. That was that fourth down, just came up short. One receiver near side, one to the top. Varda, nope,
and he's going to
be DeFort this time, and he's going to lose about 2.
Knocked down in the backfield.
There's a lot of penetration by Kellogg on that play. That's what makes for a minus play for the offense.
Riley Cleat on the tackle.
Puts the ball right up to 35. Riley Cleat makes the tackle. So third and about 7 for the Lumberjacks. 3rd and 6. One receiver top of the formation. Going to hand it off. A little bit of a mess up on the snap. And they get the ball to Gibson. Gibson with a decent gain. It's going to be
about 3 yards or so.
Yeah, it's going to be 4th down. He carries that up to the 40, so it's a 5-yard pickup for Gibson.
Looks like the punting team is coming out. Bart is walking off.
I think they said Tanner Williams with the tackle. Lumberjacks look like they might punt this one. Taking a little bit of time, though. Now they've got the clock set to 12 minutes, but that's still not right. So Riley Abel will come out to punt. And they run the fake punt to Gibson. Gibson looking for the edge. Sheds some tacklers down to the 50 and beyond. Gibson just punishes
defenders on their rear end.
And I was just going to say that the Lumberjacks have practiced a fake punt in practice. That ball is going to be all the way down to the Wildcat 46. It's a gain of 14 by Gibson. Not sure who made the tackle. St. Mary's quickly back to the line of scrimmage. One to the top of the formation for wide receivers. Barta under center. Hands it off to Gibson. Gibson stutter steps, gets outside. And again, another powerful run all the way down to
don't have an answer for him.
About the 34-yard line.
That's another Lumberjack.
12-yard pickup for Gibson.
Right on the 35. First and 10 for the Wildcat 35.
Well, right at 35.
Olin Williams on the tackle for Kellogg.
Williams with the tackle for the Wildcats. First and 10 for St. Mary's as they're marching down the field. One receiver top of the formation. Barta takes the snap, hands it off to Gibson again. Gibson near side, runs over two tacklers and takes it down to the 30. O'Neal there for the tackle.
Gibson on the carry for the O'Neal on the tackle.
5-yard pickup.
Now we're about the 30-yard line.
Gibson is up to 18 carries. He averages around 23 per game. He may eclipse that
I think
tonight.
he's about to exceed that one tonight, the way it's going.
Second about 5 from the Wildcat 30 for the Lumberjacks. One receiver to the near side. It's Grimaldo. Barta under center. Barta takes a snap, hands it off to Gibson. Gibson
they tried to
sheds a tackler, reverses field, and gets back. Well, it looks like he got the first down on
He's a little short on it. He's about a yard short, but still, Gibson just refuses to be tackled tonight.
He had Riley Cleat all over him in the backfield and just shrugged him off. Jager Hall makes that tackle for the Wildcats. Brings up third and short for St. Mary's. Gibson, he might need a breather there in a moment, though. He's kneeling down out there.
Third down on the 27-yard.
Everybody in tight for the Lumberjacks, and I don't know who has the ball. Lumberjacks fumble it.
Well, that's unfortunate. They had the first.
I think that ball came out of in a bad exchange between the quarterback and the center, and it got kicked forward, is what I think happened.
That's probably what you got.
We have to record that as a run. It's going to go against Barta, sadly. It's a bad snap situation. The ball on the 22-yard line. Wildcats. Man in motion, two receivers near side, one to the top of the formation. Watcott looking to throw, pressure coming on, looking deep. He's got a man. He had to wait for the ball a minute. Coverage there got confused. That catch going to be made by the 45 of Blalick. The tackle, I believe it was by Grimaldo.
That was to the 40, just so you know, Tim.
Thank you, Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that wide receiver ended up wide open. I think somebody missed their assignment on that one. Two receivers near side, two to the top. They were stacked. Going to be another quick throw across the middle on the slant. It's caught by Hall. He's trying to get out of a tackle, but Wyatt Holmes is going to get credit for the tackle. And now we get more Kennelly this time. That might go against St. Mary's. So that's about a 7-yard pickup. I'll call it 6. And we'll give the tackle to Holmes. We also have a penalty in there. And I've seen Kennelly going at it with one of the Wildcat players. Unsportsmanlike, St. Mary's. And that's the only one it's going against. Why are they going the wrong way?
Why is he going the wrong
ball the wrong way? So Wildcats are doing something to get under the Lumberjack skin there.
Well, you just have to have the right attitude, though. You can't let them push it you and do that. You can't respond.
That ball spotted at the Lumberjack 30, I'm going to call it 37-yard line.
Well, we have no idea what time is left on the clock.
2 receivers near side, 2 to the top of the formation. Yeah, and that was one of those instances where the second guy definitely got caught for the penalty because I think they were both doing a little bit of shuffling.
Well, that referee was watching the whole thing, so he probably would have picked up on it.
Going to get some pressure, but he gets it out quick, but it's going to be caught, but for no gain. Actually, a loss, it looked like. The catch was made by Lewis. The tackle for St. Mary's, I believe it was 22 of DeFort. Looks like a short loss.
No gain.
Same formation, 2 receivers near, 2 receivers far. Wildcat in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks to throw. It's a quick throw. That little slant pass is almost always open. Yeager Hall gets free of the first tackler. I think it's Gibson that has to catch up from behind and gets credit for that tackle, but they're down to the Lumberjacks 16.
First and 10 Wildcats.
That was a big gain for the Wildcats, 22-yard pickup. Now we have a whistle and a flag and a false start on Kellogg. So the first accepted penalty against the Wildcats.
Legal procedure on Kellogg, 5-yard penalty. First and 15 now.
Marches the Cats back 5 yards, makes it first and 15 from their 21-yard line, 22-yard line.
Of St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. 4 receivers set. Wildcat with a quick throw. Again, finds Hall. He's met right away by Wyatt Holmes.
They keep throwing these short passes, and what that's going to do is the defense is going to step up a little bit more, and then it might expose them on the backside for a longer pass.
Down. And who did I say made that tackle? Oh, Wyatt. 2nd and 6 for the Wildcats. Snap. Wildcat looks, throws, going to the end zone. Coverage is there and broken up beautifully by Brock Anderson.
Just like I said, though, they set it up like that to do that nice one down the post side.
Intended receiver. Oh, I think it was number 2. I think it was Lewis. Brings up 3rd and 6. Actually, no, it was Hall again. This time the Wildcats put 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Wildcat looks like he's in the pistol. Takes the snap. Again, looks to throw, rolls to the right. Going to keep it himself. Finds a big hole up the middle. Nobody there. And he's going to walk it into the end zone. I'm going to call that a quarterback scramble by Wildcat, as it might have been designed, but he did look like he was looking to throw it first, and he's going to take it 12 yards to bring this to within 2 points, right? Yeah.
Yep. Tim, you got your math going tonight. Very good.
Getting better, Clark. Getting better.
I know. I'm so proud of you.
14-12, Lumberjacks' lead has been cut to 2 points. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the top. Wildcat, quick throw out there, and Lumberjacks all over that. Incomplete. No good on the 2-point conversion. And the Lumberjacks lead 14-12 over the Wildcats. And a couple of miscues for St. Mary's has killed some drives, Clark.
Well, that will do it to you, too. So you got to protect the ball a little better. Don't make the crazy mistakes. That unsportsmanlike conduct was just
that was bad.
That was not a good thing to do, and that gave them an extra 15 yards. And they were finding Hall. They were finding Hall right there in the middle, like that, for the slant.
Yeah, that little quick slant was.
And they're going to make some adjustments. They've got to do that at halftime.
Well, the Lumberjacks have been using this new huddle sideline so they can review the plays, and they're trying to use that to help adjust in game and not have to wait until halftime. So we'll see what they can do. I was going to give another senior for the soccer team for boys, but we will wait. Like I said, we don't know how much time is left in the half. It's got to be close to about maybe halfway through.
Hard to say, Tim. These quarters move pretty quickly from my standpoint.
McDonald will kick off for the Wildcats. Oh, no, it's not McDonald. It's 61. It's Peak. That's right. It's going to be fielded at the 16 by DeFort. Reverse the field to the near side. Gets some blocks down the sideline. A late flag. And that flag almost always comes in the block in the back or a hold. He returns that up to where? About the 30. There is a penalty, and it's holding. Nope, the ball.
Well, the referee went the right direction this time. Not according to us, though, of course. And it'll be 1st and 10, though. That is not a dead ball type thing.
No, that's 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Ball stays with the Lumberjacks. Lumberjacks, one receiver to the near side. Barta under center, takes the snap. Pitches it to Gibson, or hands it off to Gibson. Gibson finds some of his own traffic in the way. That's one of the shortest runs of the night for Gibson.
I think he's still got a yard on him.
And quite a few made the tackle for the Wildcats. That was in the middle of the line, so everything gets so jumbled up down there with so many bodies. Got a personnel change, though, as Cleat comes off. Spencer goes on for the Wildcats.
Both big boys, too, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Cleat, 170. We're going to get a timeout by St. Mary's. And I think it was Spencer is 245. So now we got time for one of these seniors for the soccer boys. And the next one is Thurston Reed. His guardians, Douglas and Aaron Reed. He has 6 years of playing soccer. After high school, he would like to write a book and attend school for 3D modeling. After his activities in school, soccer, 4-H, and Benoit County STEM Club. He'd like to thank his mom and dad, his siblings, Millie, Travis, and Bryson, his grandparents, his bosses, and coach for all of his soccer help. That's Thurston Reed.
Well, Thurston sounds like a bright kid.
Yeah.
I like that 3D imaging thing. That sounds interesting to me.
So we are...
I'd like him to explain what a 3D printer is. Now, that just shows you my ignorance in that area.
So it's 14-12. Lumberjacks lead somewhere in the middle of the second quarter. 2nd and 9 from the Lumberjack 21.
Minutes before halftime. How many? Don't ask.
Lumberjacks took a timeout. St. Mary's comes out. Everybody in tight, heavy formation. Barta under center. Gibson lined up behind him. It's going to be the throw, a throw. Barta's rolling out, and he just can't get that out there. There's nobody there to receive that. Wyatt Holmes was the closest receiver, but he was about 10 yards away from it.
3rd down and 9 now for the Jacks.
I'm not sure if there was a miscommunication on a route by one of the guys. I only seen really one guy out on the route, and that was
Holmes,
Wyatt.
And he was about 5 yards further up the field.
And typically that play has a couple of guys running a route. So I think there might have been somebody that didn't understand that it was a pass play, and they were supposed to be running a route on that one. Brings up 3rd and 9 for the Lumberjacks, deep on their own side of the field. One receiver near side, that is Kyle Smith. Top of the formation looks like Holmes. It's going to be a handoff to Gibson, and this time Gibson is getting bottled up.
You got really great penetration the defensive line did on that.
4th and 10, timeout taken by the Wildcats. Reed Watcott, the quarterback, makes that tackle. Yeah, they're starting to get the tee off on Gibson because he's the only one mainly touching the ball.
That's what I'm saying. When 90% of your offense is going through Gibson, you can only have to focus on him. That pass didn't do much for him either.
No. So one more senior for the soccer team. Grant Compton, his guardians, Chuck and Kristen Compton. 12 years of playing soccer. After high school, he plans to attend WSU and obtain a master's degree in archaeology. His activities in school is soccer. His most memorable moment is beating Priest River in a double shootout during districts. He'd like to thank his mom and dad, his grandparents, and all of his friends for cheering him on. Out of the timeout, we've got St. Mary's, 4th and long. Lumberjacks, I don't think we'll try the old fake punt on this one.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Are they?
Not a smart play.
No.
I don't mean to be critical like that, but that just...
that
was
surprised
so
me on that one, honestly. Looks like no gain at all, and the Wildcats will take over.
Well, they lost on the play.
Fake punt. No gain. Still up 6.
Ball goes over to the Wildcats in St. Mary's territory. That one really surprises me on that play call for St. Mary's. I'm not the coach. I'm not in the huddle, but
didn't you say the coach says he doesn't like punting? I think I heard you say that the first game of the season.
5 receivers out for the Wildcats, 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Watcott looks to throw, looks left, looks right, scrambles, looks to go into the end zone, and he's got a wide open receiver.
Out of bounds. I thought, he looked like he was out of bounds. But I'm too far away to make that call.
The catch is made by, it looks like, Drayden Taylor in the end zone. And the Wildcats take the lead here late in the second.
What a difference a quarter makes.
20-yard pitch and catch for the touchdown. Wildcats go up 18-14. Wildcats send out 5 wide receivers for the extra point, empty backfield, or for the 2-point try. 3 receivers top of the formation, 2 to the near side. The snap to Watcott, looking across the middle, big hit right there in the end zone, and they say he dropped it at the last minute. It was caught for a minute by Blalick, but he could not hold on to it with a punishing hit from the Lumberjack defender. I think it was Brock Anderson laying the hit onto him to break up that 2-point conversion.
I don't want to be hit by Brock.
18-14, Wildcats take the lead. Second quarter, we'll be back.
Archie's IGA is not only a proud supporter of Lumberjack sports, but a proud supporter of the St. Mary's community and shopping locally. When you shop local, you help businesses support other local businesses, as well as helping your local businesses to provide jobs. Did you know that local business taxes help maintain communities and counties by fixing roads and maintaining recreational facilities? Local business owners invest in the community and have a vested interest in the future of our community. So won't you help Archie's IGA by supporting your local businesses and shop locally? Oh yeah, and let's not forget those Lumberjacks.
Yeah, we are back. The Wildcats will kick off. They have the lead, 18-14, somewhere in the second quarter.
Late is my guess as well, Tim.
And I had my kicker wrong for the Wildcats earlier. I do apologize. It is number 61. It is A.J. Peak for the Wildcats. Kickoff going to be fielded by Grimaldo at about the 16. He's going to take it far side, looks for some blocking, has some room. Finally brought down at about the 36-yard line of St. Mary's.
Not knowing how much time is left, it makes it kind of tough for me to know what to dictate.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're doing something that's letting them know how much time is left somewhere.
It's on the field, and they're telling them, I'm sure of that as well. But the point being, I'd like to know so I can kind of help anticipate what's going to happen here. Not that we're a strong passing team, because we certainly haven't been that tonight.
Well, the Lumberjacks do really well at run blocking, but they struggle a little bit in the pass blocking.
And that's what I've been hearing, and again, when you put a lot of eggs in one basket and that's being run, that's how it works sometimes.
One receiver to the near side. Barta gets tripped up again. I think he kept the ball because everything was just thrown off. I think he's like getting stepped on by a center or something on occasion. Or Wildcats diving at his legs.
That size thing can be a problem.
Barta loses 3 yards. Second and 13. So the Wildcats have made some adjustments, and they're figuring some things out. St. Mary's has got to answer those adjustments and see what they can figure out on offense to answer it. One receiver to the top of the formation. It's Grimaldo. Barta under center. Gibson in the backfield. Barta's going to roll to the near side, looking to throw. One of the receivers falls down. He's going to throw it to the middle. Finds Hayden DeFort for the catch across the 50.
That's another Lumberjack.
Blaylock on the tackle for the Wildcats.
On the 48 of Kellogg.
First and 10 Lumberjacks from the Kellogg 48.
Doesn't look like a sense of urgency in the sense that they are giving doing a huddle.
40, what'd you say it was?
48.
19-yard pickup. Same formation for the Lumberjacks. One receiver to the near side. Barta going to roll to the far side this time. Keeps it. Finds a little room to run. Gets about 2 yards on the carry. Looks like it might only be, I'm going to call it 2.
You're generous.
Yeah. Sometimes.
He's got the tackle for Kellogg. Second down and
Cleat on the tackle for the Wildcats. Same formation, one receiver to the near side. Gibson's going to take the handoff. Find some room to the far side, and he's going to power it forward to about the 40. Looks like he gets just across the 40.
And a timeout called, I think.
Probably so. St. Mary's. St. Mary's calls a timeout. 6-yard gain by Gibson. Brings up 3rd and short. Our next senior for the soccer team for Lumberjacks, William Dittman. His guardians, Peter and Lori Dittman, 2 years of playing soccer. After high school, he plans to join the workforce. Activities in school include soccer and track. His most memorable moment is all of the team dinners. He'd like to thank Coach and Stephen, Mrs. Coach, and his family and team for always being supportive. That is William Dittman, Lumberjack soccer player, senior for this year. Once again, coming up at halftime, our senior spotlight features Riley Abel, known in the baseball world with his friends as 8-Ball, and known as some of his other friends as Garth.
Number 64 for Kellogg was carried off by a couple teammates. And that's O'Neill. Tom O'Neill.
Never like to see anybody injured. He's a junior. Hopefully he'll be okay. St. Mary's under center is going to throw it. 3rd down. They're going deep and just barely overthrows Wyatt Holmes down there on the far sideline.
Pass is incomplete. Brings up 3rd down.
It brings up 4th down, should be.
4th down.
There we are.
We need to make those numbers a little bigger back there.
So 4th and short for the Lumberjacks. They will go for it here. That was a good time to take a shot. It was a pretty good throw. Just overthrew him just a little bit.
But don't just assume that you can get these 2 yards.
Yeah. Going to hand it off to Gibson. Finds a room to run. Up the middle. Gibson, one guy to beat, but tripped up. Taken down to the 21. Tackled by McDonald.
McDonald's on the tackle, and that's another Lumberjack.
It's a quick snap here.
Oh. And a quick incomplete pass.
Was it? I think they're on the 20. I had to go really quick, so I'm not sure where they're at. 22, 23, 24.
2nd and 10 Lumberjacks to the Kellogg 23.
So it was an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 for the Jacks. Well, they kind of pushed that tempo right after that run, so it must be getting close to the end of the first half.
Yeah, we can assume that now, I think.
Especially since they tried to throw real quick. The one thing that did is if it's incomplete, it stops the clock for them. One receiver to the top of the formation, that's Wyatt Holmes. Barta under center. Takes a snap, pitches or hands off to Gibson. Gibson near side, cuts back in, gets it inside the 15.
There must be very close to being out of time. This is a rush up here.
He got it down to about the 14, but it wasn't a first down. Lumberjacks quickly, another throw. Oh, almost open out there was Wyatt Holmes. He had him almost open early, but he just misses him again. Brings up 4th and 1 for the Lumberjacks.
4th and 1 now for the Jacks.
They've still got timeout, so if they want to, I think they got timeouts. They can run it here.
I don't know. They had a timeout left. At least by the sense of urgency that they're moving the.
Barta takes a snap, looks to throw on 4th down, so they must not have that timeout. And again, misses his receiver, Grimaldo, in the end zone. That'll be a turnover on downs, I believe, for St. Mary's here to get really close to ending the first half. 18-14, Jacks trail. Like I said, it must be seconds on the clock. St. Mary's will get the ball to start the second half. They just got to hold the Wildcats here, depending on how much time is left. We got 3 receivers to the near side, one to the top of the formation. Watcott has Lewis lined up behind him. Lewis brings a man in motion. Oh, the snap is over his head. The ball's still loose. That's in the end zone, isn't it? Is that a safety?
It looks like he's got him on.
And it's a safety. The Lumberjacks, the recipient of a bad snap over the head of the quarterback. And there's nothing here for a bad snap. I'm going to have to call it a fumble. Recovered by Kellogg, but they recover it.
It's 16-18 Wildcats
in their own end zone. So the Lumberjacks get that safety. 18-16, Wildcats lead by 2. The first mistake by the Wildcats tonight.
Well, they cost them 2 points, too. And then they've got a
and
now they're going to move the kickoff back.
I don't know where the ref's going with the ball.
Well, again, I think
Wildcats
wrong way, the wrong way ref today. I'm telling you.
I think they're probably laughing about saying, "Hey, the ball goes down there." It's okay, ref. It's okay. So the kickoff would be on the 20, it shows. But after that penalty, is it half the distance? So it's going to move it back to the.
Oh, it's not half the because they kick from the 40. I'm thinking it's going to at least the 25.
Well, it says after the safety, it was kicking off from the 20.
So yeah, that's 10 yards.
Yeah. So they're back to the.
It looks like the 10.
It was unsportsmanlike, so it's probably a 15-yard penalty, but I think that close, they just do half the distance. So St. Mary's, we don't know how much time is left on the clock, but they should get pretty good field position. And it's more or less a punt, isn't it? No, they're sitting on the tee.
They can kick. Whatever is a free kick they want to do.
Okay. Now what do we get? Some
Kellogg calls timeout because they were having trouble getting their subs in.
Is there a play clock? Yeah, there is. Is there on the kickoff?
There should be a play clock for any of these things. Yes.
So the Wildcats have to take a timeout here. They want to make sure everything's correct on their end before they potentially give St. Mary's a short field here. And again, the clock is goofed up, so we don't know how much time remains. And I wasn't paying close enough attention. I don't know how many timeouts St. Mary's has left. Maybe they used them all. I mean, you could be right. They weren't taking any after those runs. So they may not have any timeouts. The only thing we don't want to see is a turnover on a forced pass or something late in the game.
Or late in the get first. The pass. Who knows what's going to happen after the kick? I mean, seriously.
So Gibson waits at about the 50. Grimaldo is also at the 50. And this is somebody else kicking. This isn't the normal kicker.
No, it isn't.
That's going to be a kick that's going to end up out of bounds on a flag.
I think it's because it went out of bounds first, which means the clock never started regardless.
It looks like it goes out at the 35. No, Wildcat 35. I have two players diving for that ball. The official's talking about it. I almost think if it went off of a Lumberjack out of bounds, and I think it negates that out of bounds kick, doesn't it?
Well, I'm thinking that they never touched it, Tim, until after the ball had gone out of bounds. If that is the flag. We're about to find out. Well, I think they swallowed that flag up because there's no indication what's happened here.
We'll call it a fair catch at the Kellogg 30. So the Lumberjacks 1st and 10 on the Wildcat 30-yard line. Again, we don't know how much time is left, so we'll know if this first play is a pass that there's definitely not much time left.
I see we've got a couple. We got two wide receivers.
Two receivers. The snap. It's going to be a throw. Oh, looking for Gibson, but leads him a little bit too far out. And Barta is holding his head going, dang it.
Second and 10 now for the Jacks.
Because Gibson, if he catches that on the run, he was wide open. I don't think he may not make it all the way to the end zone, but he's going to be coming at a defender with a full head of steam, and I don't want to take on that bull.
I don't think there's much time left at this point.
2nd and 10. We've got Wyatt Holmes near side for the Lumberjacks receivers. Looking to throw again. Going to the end zone. Looking for Grimaldo. And Grimaldo kind of has to play defense there. Knock that ball away from the 41 of Story. Brings up 3rd and 10. Oh, nope. That's the end of that is the end of the half, it looks like. So going into halftime, St. Maries trails the Wildcats 18-16 as the Lumberjacks started off strong with a nice lead, but the Wildcats came charging back. We'll come back after a quick break with our senior spotlight, and then we'll tell you about the first half stats.
Nell Martin Holmes, your Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Maries, is a proud Lumberjack supporter because they're her hometown team. When it comes to insurance, that's also one reason so many people in St. Maries choose Farm Bureau Insurance. They have a complete line of insurance products, including auto, home, commercial, and life, plus they have great customer service and competitive rates. And they're also a local company with local agents right here in St. Maries. So let's hear it for our hometown teams. Contact Janelle Martin Holmes, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Maries at 105 North 8th Street, St. Maries.
Tax time is here again. I know. It's not your favorite. But at H&R Block, tax time is our favorite time of year. It's when our tax pros get to do what they love the most, help people. By getting to know you, they can make sure your return gets done right. It's not just about numbers, boxes, and forms. It's about personal care. So you get every credit and deduction you deserve. And with an average of 10 years experience, our tax pros get your taxes done right. Just one of the many ways Block has your back.
Tired of wasting your money on credit card processing fees? Call Flat Creek Payments. We will help you reduce or eliminate your credit card processing fees. Take a moment to review those fees you paid last month. You know, the ones that slipped through the cracks. Now imagine having all that money back in your pocket. Sounds awesome, right? Let Flat Creek Payments make that dream a reality. Call Flat Creek Payments today, 208-695-1056. That's 208-695-1056. Flat Creek Payments.
And it's time for our senior spotlight. Today's Lumberjack senior is Riley Abel. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, we're going to get right off to it. What sports do you play, Riley?
I play football, baseball, and I wrestle too.
Which one is your favorite and why?
Probably baseball. I've been playing it the longest.
What has playing sports taught you?
Taught me respect and how to be part of a family with all the friends and just how to be a good sport.
And what is your favorite thing about playing sports?
Keeps me out of trouble, keeps me in shape, get to see my friends, hang out with them, a lot of fun.
What is your least favorite thing?
I don't really know. I got nothing really bad to say about sports.
You probably hate it when you lose a game.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Do you have a favorite pro sports team and player?
I don't know. I like them all. I don't really know player-wise. Team-wise, probably it got to be the Seahawks just because I've been fans of them the whole life with my family and everything.
Yeah, what are your goals this year on and off the field or the mat, since you said you wrestle a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I'd just like to get better as the season progresses and have a winning season and maybe go somewhere and playoffs and see what wrestling holds, because I got injured last year, so hopefully this year something's better.
All right, we're talking with our senior spotlight, Riley Abel. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with more.
Any adventure, any task, anytime. There's a Yamaha utility ATV for any ride and any rider. See the full lineup at St. Maries Sun Cycle. Adventure seekers can start with the trail-tested capability and comfort of the Yamaha Grizzly lineup. For the ultimate in mid-size ATV performance, check out the Yamaha Kodiak 450. And for those who mix work and pleasure, the Yamaha Kodiak 700 line showers chores and leaves room for adventure. Find your utility ATV at St. Mary's Sun Cycle or YamahaMotorsports.com. ATVs are recommended for use only by riders aged 16 years and older. ATVs can be hazardous to operate. Yamaha recommends an approved training course. For safety and training information, see your dealer or call 1-800-887-2887. Hughes Ace Hardware wants to invite you to come in and take a look. Hughes isn't just about hardware. Whether you need dish soap and sponges to clean up after your husband's guys' night or storage solutions for your wife's shopping addiction, you can find it at Hughes. Come see the difference. Everything you need, from a blow dryer to replace the one your toddler drops in the toilet to a bathroom scale to help your hubby stay on his fitness goals. Hughes Ace Hardware is the place to get the products you need and the help you want all the time, every time.
You always hear on the radio, cross the bridge to safety. But it's true. St. Mary's Harvest Foods has what you need when you need it. And if you don't see it, then just ask one of the friendly staff and they will gladly help you find what you need. From meat, super fresh produce, and dairy, St. Mary's Harvest Foods will save you big on the things you need the most. No time to cook tonight? Then check out the hot deli for something quick for dinner. St. Mary's Harvest Foods, where you truly can cross the bridge to savings.
And we're talking with Riley Abel, our senior spotlight. What are your plans after high school?
I'm thinking some sort of trade school, maybe welding or like lineman or something.
All right. What is your favorite subject in school?
Probably math. I don't really like English.
Don't get math as a favorite subject very often. Somebody that you look up to?
I look up to my dad a lot. He's taught me a lot of things about being a man and growing up and stuff.
Does your teammates have a nickname for you?
So for football, it's pretty much Garth, and then I grew up in baseball with it being Magic 8 Ball or 8 Ball, but it's grown more to Garth now.
So far to this point, what is your most memorable moment?
Probably the Grangeville locker room last year. Test speech in the Grangeville locker room last year definitely has to be it.
All right. Do you have anybody that you'd like to thank?
Friends, family, all the coaches, everyone who's pushed me to do better.
All right. Well, we've been talking with Riley Abel for our senior spotlight. Thank you for talking to us. Good luck the rest of your high school career and beyond.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with more.
Jack Fuel Trucking knows that there are few things as important as wise use of our natural resources. And by utilizing the chips in the manufacturing of lumber, that is exactly what is accomplished. If you look beyond the wood chips, you see an entire community of schools, churches, and businesses. And most importantly, people. Jack Fuel Trucking believes in the responsible harvesting of our natural resources. After all, if you take a close look, those aren't just chips. They're an entire community. Jack Fuel Trucking.
Do you need help finding that perfect gift? Looking for that personalized touch? Come to Jack's Pharmacy in St. Mary's and let us fill your balloons. Not only does Jack's carry all of your gift and party supplies, but we're here to serve you with all your personal care items. Come in and let our personal care experts help you find just what you need from our wide selection. If we don't have it, we can get it. Plan your party at Jack's Pharmacy, your good neighbor pharmacy, where you'll receive personalized service and attention.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Idaho. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
Afraid to touch that breaker box? Need some rewiring done? Call the professionals at M&S Electric. With nearly 40 years experience, there's no job too big or too small. From industrial and commercial to residential and service work, M&S Electric isn't afraid. Serving Benoit, Shoshone, Kootenai, and Latah counties, M&S Electric has you covered. Overhead work? M&S can do that too with their bucket truck. M&S Electric, 408 Main Avenue, St. Mary's. Give them a call, 208-245-3890. No job too big, no job too small. We do them all. M&S Electric.
For all of your area high school sports schedules, updates, and recaps, including Lakeside, Kootenai, and of course, St. Mary's High School, pick up your copy of the St. Mary's Gazette Record every Wednesday. Not only will they have game recaps and highlights for area high school sports action, but local news and information. St. Mary's Gazette Record, pick up a copy today.
For all your plumbing needs, call Nick's Plumbing and Heating. With 6 professional staff, you can be assured of guaranteed quality products, installation, service, and repair of all of your plumbing. So if you have plumbing needs or problems, call the good folks at Nick's Plumbing and Heating. Call 245-5460. That's 245-5460. Nick's Plumbing and Heating. Installation, service, and repair when you need it. Nick's Plumbing and Heating, St. Mary's.
And we are back here at Lumberjack Field. St. Mary's trails at the half, 18-16 to the Wildcats in league action. And it's been a good one so far. Lumberjacks jump out to a quick lead and go up by 2 scores. And then the Wildcats come roaring back, take the lead 18-14 before the Lumberjacks capitalize on a high snap. And it goes into the end zone where the Wildcats recover that, but it is a safety for Kellogg, and that puts us right here where we are with that 18-16 lead for Kellogg. Lumberjacks will get the ball to start the second half, so let's see if Lumberjacks can put another good drive together like their first couple of drives and punch it into the end zone to reclaim the lead. Looking at the Wildcats again, I do stats on huddle for the team, so it's a little bit more difficult than some of my prior ones because not all of the rosters are correct for the opposite teams. But throwing the ball for the Wildcats is Reed Watcott. He has 10 of 14 for 131 yards passing. Yeager Hall has 3 catches for 44 yards for the Wildcats. And again, that doesn't always populate all of the players. There's another player for the Wildcats. And again, I do apologize, but it's not showing me which player it is. I think Lewis has a couple of catches as well, but one of the players has 2 catches for 34 yards. Blalick has 1 catch for 18 yards. Actually, I think that one's probably Drayden Taylor with the 2 catches for 34. And that's about the top of it for the Wildcats individually. Rushing the ball, Reed Watcott has 12 yards, 2 rushes, but the Wildcats, if I look at the team stats correctly, are negative in the running category. Over to the Lumberjack side of things, Jack Barta, the quarterback for St. Mary's, 2 for 9 for 28 yards. Hayden DeFort has 1 catch for 19. Jarrett Brebner has 1 catch for 9. Trey Gibson has carried the ball 26 times for 189 yards in the first half. I believe he has... I'm trying to think. I think he had 1 touchdown, and it's not showing who has what touchdowns on the stats I'm looking at. So Hayden DeFort has 2 carries for 4 yards. Jack Barta 5 for 3. Tackles, I have Trey Gibson with 2, Julian Grimaldo with 2, Wyatt Holmes with 2, Rowan Ford with 1, Cole Darnold with 1, not Landon Warren, John Kennelly with 1, and Brock Anderson with 1, Hayden DeFort with 1. No, John Kennelly is in there. And again, that's another thing I'm fighting with trying to figure out how this Huddle Stats program works. But we still have old players showing up on the stats inside of the program itself. I've gone through a lot of different settings in Huddle itself to try to figure out why. Coach Rouse has deleted all the old players out of the team information. I have done some shuffling of players off of a public roster, but it does not seem to have helped yet as to getting the right players in on this part of the stats program. So after games, I have to go in and kind of fix stats according to players as well. So it's an interesting learning curve. Anyways, going to the game stats, because we just looked at the individual. St. Mary's has 14 first downs to the Wildcats 6. St. Mary's 33 runs for 196 yards. The Wildcats 4 carry on their rush. Lumberjacks are averaging 6 yards per carry. St. Mary's has only 2 completions out of 9 attempts. The Wildcats 10 out of 15. Passing yardage, 108 yards passing for the Wildcats, 28 passing for the Lumberjacks. Total plays, the Wildcats have ran 19 for 128. St. Mary's has ran 42 plays for 224 yards. And again, with that kind of numbers, you'd think St. Mary's was strongly in control of this game, but they did have a turnover, and I think the Wildcats scored points off of that fumble. And then St. Mary's also had a drive get stalled out by a penalty at a bad time. They haven't had a lot of penalties, but they've had one in a key situation. And then they had that one where they went for it on 4th down and deep in their own side of the field, and the Wildcats scored off of that as well. So St. Mary's gave the Wildcats short field on that one. St. Mary's has turned the ball over once. Kellogg has not yet. Lumberjacks are 2 for 8 on 3rd downs. Wildcats are 0 for 4. St. Mary's 2 for 5 on 4th downs, and the Wildcats have not had a 4th down attempt yet. No sacks, no field goals for either team. We're going to take a look at our next senior for the soccer team. It is the boys soccer team, Scott Stoughton. His guardians, Paul and Suzanne Stoughton. He has 10 years of playing soccer. After high school, he plans to become a lineman. His activities in school are soccer, wrestling, and track. His most memorable moment is throwing apples at each other during town runs. And that is the final senior for the soccer boys team. Also want to make note, I took a look on NFHS Network trying to see an update on the Grangeville New Plymouth game. That's the only one that I know of going on tonight, league-wise. And it looked like, just as I tuned into it to check it out, New Plymouth had scored. So it was, I think, 6-0, depending on the extra point or 2-point try for New Plymouth was leading Kellogg or Grangeville. I'm not sure what quarter or anything it was in. So that is just a slight update on that Grangeville game going on down in New Plymouth tonight. Both teams back out. We'll take a quick break. Be back with the second half kickoff. When you need that morning pick-me-up before work or school, there's one place that comes to mind. It's a place that loves our community, the St. Maries Lumberjacks, and all the local businesses and people in our village. Shift and Grind in St. Maries is all about the community. Whether it's helping raise money for the Booster Club or for a family in need, the Shift and Grind family are always ready to help. So be sure to stop by Shift and Grind for your caffeinated needs. Located at 132 First Street in St. Maries, Shift and Grind says, "Go Lumberjacks!"
It's time to winterize your home, and there's no better place to start than at Everyone's Hardware and Lumber Store, 10th Street Lumber. They have insulation, house wraps, stoves, and heaters. See their huge selection of power tools, paints, and painting supplies. And, of course, they have a full line of lumber supplies. Stop by 10th Street Lumber and see what they can do for you. And remember, 10th Street Lumber will deliver anywhere on 10th Street and Railroad Avenue, 10th Street Lumber.
Yeah, we are back, just about ready for the second half kickoff. Clark, well, the answer, St. Mary's played pretty well. They had that one fumble that hurt a drive where they were deep on Kellogg territory. They had a good drive going, and one penalty undid that drive. And then they went for it on 4th deep on their own side of the field that one time. But other than that,
there's no argument about that, but let's give Kellogg some credit, too. They found their rhythm in their passing game in that second quarter, and they started to be able to move that ball down the field a lot more easily than they had in the first quarter. So it's evenly matched at the moment. I still can anticipate that St. Mary's can still run it all over Kellogg and keep the ball out of their hands.
It'll be interesting to see what St. Mary's does to adjust that quick slant across the middle. I want to give another quick shout-out as Coach Teff let me know that the NFHS Network audio is working into that stream. So that is good to hear, and good to hear from you, Coach Teff.
Hey, Craig, if everything's going well, that's great to hear. I'm here for you.
The Wildcats lined up to kick off. St. Maries will receive. The kicker is the number 61 of Peak. And it is a low ground kick. It's going to be to Brock Anderson. He hands it off to Cole Darnold. Darnold gets the edge and is punished out of bounds at the 40-yard line. The tackle made by the 33 of McDonald.
Anderson hands the ball back to Darnold.
I didn't see where we fielded that at. I'm going to call it the 15 because I'm not sure where it
You
was.
like that number anyway.
Yeah. Oh, actually, it wasn't that far back because it was a shorter kick.
I'd say maybe the 20. Want to go with the 20?
Yeah. We'll go
So I hit 25.
We'll go 25. And they returned it to the 42. Their own 42. Tackle was made by the 33 of McDonald. Lumberjacks with the snap, and it's going to be
penetration on the defense, though.
I'm going to credit it as a sack. As Barta gets brought down for about a 5-yard loss. And I'm not sure who made that tackle for the Wildcats.
Defense player.
Yeah, well, that's obvious.
I'm here
Safety
for you.
obvious, mister.
Well, you want it, don't you? You don't want me to say it was the quarterback. Well, it could have been.
Brings up 2nd and 14 for the Lumberjacks. 2 receivers set this time, 1 to each side. Barta is going to pitch it to Gibson. Gibson takes it to the far side. Little stiff arm action, gets the edge, and ran out of bounds. Somebody's helmet comes off, and there's still some pushing going on down here. Julian Grimaldo getting into it with one of the Wildcats.
They need to walk away from it, or they're going to get another dumb penalty.
Gibson with the, well, it's about a 7-yard, so let's make it a 10-yard gain. Right at the 50, actually. Got to call it a 12-yard gain before Gibson was pushed out of bounds. Brings up 3rd, and it looks like, what, 3?
2 or 3, yeah. We'll give it 3.
1 receiver to each side of the formation. Barta under center, pitches it to Gibson. Gibson cuts up, finds some room to run.
He's got the first.
And he's got the first down by about a yard.
Gibson on the carry.
I'm going to mark it
Looks
right
like
at
the
the
clock
45.
is working this half.
So
At least
far?
at the moment. Yeah, let's just say that.
I know the Booster Club's putting a lot of money into that new facility over there, but I think we're almost in need for a new scoreboard here at the football
might be.
field. And then get a wedge formation or the heavy formation and a false start.
Illegal procedure on the Jacks.
So Lumberjacks will make it a little harder on themselves.
These penalties are going to be could be a downfall. They're not careful.
The 50-yard line.
1st and 15 for St. Maries. Lumberjacks in the huddle. They up to the line of scrimmage. 1 receiver to the near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Looks like we got Wyatt Holmes and maybe Kyle Smith. I can't see the back of the jersey. We got some handoff action here, and the ball carrier is DeFort. Nice carry for him, about 5 yards, maybe 6.
They got back to the original line of scrimmage now, so we got 2nd and 10.
Gain of 5. 2nd and 10 now for the Jacks from the Kellogg 45.
Up to the Kellogg 45-yard line. Again, I didn't catch who made the tackle for the Wildcats. So 2nd and 10 for St. Mary's. Onto the Wildcat side of the field. Clock still working. 9 minutes to go. 3rd quarter. St. Mary's trails by 2, 18-16. 1 receiver to the top of the formation. Barta under center. Takes the snap. I think that's that pitch option play there, and there was guys in the way.
He read it well, knowing not to pitch.
Yeah.
I think that Kellogg guy was waiting to see what was going to happen with that. He said, choose me, choose me.
Brings up 3rd and long for the Jacks.
Still 10 yards.
It'll be interesting to see if they don't get the first down, even though they are on the Kellogg side of the field, what they decide to go do on 4th down this time. One receiver to the top of the formation. Looks like it's Holmes. Takes the handoff to Gibson. Got some good blocking. Now he's scrambling. He's hit right as he releases it, and it's going to be incomplete. Intended for Brebner. Had a free rusher come off this near side. I think it might have been Radley McDonald. Brings up 4th and long. Does the Lumberjacks go for it?
We're going to do the fake puntaroo again, it looks like.
Or do they try to
Bart is still in the huddle.
I see Riley out there, though. Abel is out there.
I see the socks.
Yeah. We did mention that earlier, didn't we?
We did, the pink socks. And St. Mary's going to have to call a timeout, which is not a good thing to have to waste here.
Not in a close game. But St. Mary, I think it was just trying to figure out what personnel they needed out there.
I think they had both a punting and just a regular offense out there.
One side was saying, no, let's go for it. The other side was saying, no, we're going to pin them deep.
Listen to coach.
It's been a good game, though.
Well, it's entertaining, and at least, in the sense that they're not out of it and they don't feel like there's any hope in the game. There's lots of hope in this one.
These games are going to be, the league games are going to be probably close, hard-fought battles, vying for that top spot in the Central Idaho League this year.
4 teams this year without Priest River. Am I correct on that?
4, yep. 2 up here in District 1, 2 in District 2.
And do we have Grangeville on the road this year? Or
no, Grangeville comes here, and we play Orofino in Orofino.
Okay.
We actually ended up with 5 home games this year because of Melba.
Well, we can thank Melba for
the
that.
Lumberjacks are going for it. 2 receivers. Bart are going to throw.
That offensive line.
He's looking for Brebner, and it's off his fingertips, incomplete.
That line is not giving Bart much time at all.
He had Brebner.
Again, I'm just stating
what
you need
Brebner
to know.
Was a little bit short on. He was short of the sticks. So I don't know if he would have made it there. It would have been close when he would have caught it, if he would have caught it. But
yeah. And that's not that I'm trying to be critical. It's just saying what you need to hear since you can't see what's happening. So unless you have the NFH feed. Right?
Lumberjacks turn it over to the Wildcats. They have 3 receivers near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Watcott brings a man in motion. That is Blalick. He's going to take off upfield. It's a pass to the running back out of the backfield, Lewis. He's going to put the brakes on and evade one Lumberjack, sheds off of Anderson, and finally making the tackle is Grimaldo, and a lot of running for only about 11 yards.
Still a first
down, but up to the Lumberjack. Well, we're going to call it the Lumberjack 45.
Lumberjack 45.
1 receiver to the near side for the Wildcats, it looks like. Receivers on the other side are discussing what they're doing. 3 receivers bunched close to the end of the line of scrimmage at the top. Watcott looking over to his coach, trying to figure out who he is. He's got, that's not Lewis behind him, it's a different, no, it is Lewis. Watcott looks to throw, again, finds his man, and it's the 11 of Coburn with a short gain.
And notice they're not doing the slot now. They're running more of a little post out on the side and getting 5, 7 yards on these passes. Now they can come right back to the slant and see what happens here.
Didn't see who knocked him out of bounds on that far side. So it's 2nd and about 7. 1 receiver to the near side for the Wildcats. 2 to the top of the formation this time. Watcott in the pistol. He's got Lewis lined up behind him. Takes the snap, looks to throw. Looking deep, and he's got separation, but he's have to come back to it. Picked off, but we're going to get a pass interference call, I think. A little bit of early contact by Dittman, I think, and I think we're going to get a PI. Who intercepted that? Was it? It was Wyatt Holmes. Lumberjack crowd don't like it. There was contact.
There was
it was right there.
prior to the catch.
So the ball is going to be placed at about the 26-27 of St. Mary's. Yeah, the receiver turned to come back to it, and the defender did not. If he would have turned to look for the ball, he probably would have gotten away from the contact, but he did not turn and look. We've got a pass by Wildcat. No, he's going to try to keep it himself. Tackled out of bounds, it looks like, by Cole Darnold after a 5-yard pickup. Maybe only a 4-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 6 at about the 23 of St. Mary's. 2 receivers near side, 2 to the top of the formation. Wildcat looks to throw again. Flushes it a little bit, throws it just a little bit long of his guy intended for the number 21 of Coulter Wood. Slips through his fingertips and is incomplete.
Third and 6 for the Wildcats.
3rd down and 6. Still at the 23 of St. Mary's, 6:55 to go, 3rd quarter. Wildcats lead at 18-16. 3 receivers bunched in the near side. 1 receiver top of the formation. Pistol for Wildcat. He's going to look to throw. Pressured. He's going to get it out. Incomplete, though, intended for the 45 of Blalock. And I think the little shutter shake. I don't know. Blalock's looking like he maybe thinks he should have had a PI call on against the Lumberjacks, too. He's kind of had his arms kind of out. There was a little bit of contact there, but it looked like the little pump fake kind of threw him off as well. So it brings up an incomplete pass. 4th and 6, and the Wildcats, of course, is going to go for it deep in St. Mary's territory. The Lumberjack defense needs to come up big here with a stop.
4th and 6 for Lumberjack 22.
2 receivers near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Wildcat takes a snap, rolls to the near side, flushed. He's going to look deep. He's got a man, and again, well, out of bounds, incomplete, and there was a lot of contact. I thought down there by DeFort,
that ball took him out of bounds.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
think it was
was
uncatchable, so that's why they're not throwing anything there. But it's an incomplete pass, and the Lumberjacks will take over. Yeah, that might be one of the main reasons the flag didn't come out there, because DeFort did kind of make contact while the ball was in the air, but it was out of bounds. So St. Mary's takes over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line. Lumberjacks looking to put a drive together. Midway through the 3rd, 6:42 to go. 18-16, Jacks trail. 1 receiver to the top of the formation. Hand off to, I believe, Gibson. Gibson finds some room to run, bounces to the outside, cuts upfield, still on his feet, up to the 40, up to about the 42 before being tackled by the number 20. Actually, it looks like number 2. No, the 20, I believe it was, on the tackle.
Ball on the 42-yard line of St. Mary's, 1st and 10.
19-yard pickup by Gibson. The tackle, I believe, was made by Drayden Taylor. 1st and 10 for St. Mary's. Nice run by Gibson. That puts him over 200 yards for the game, Clark.
Really?
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about it later?
We'll see. We'll see if somebody else doesn't make a play that might constitute taking that away. But 1 receiver top of the formation. Gibson, handoff to him again. Finds some room up the middle. Cuts back. Now up the middle again, and is finally brought down, but not before another big gain. All the way to the Wildcat 40.
40, and that's another Lumberjack.
Maybe all those tacos is making bigger and stronger.
Another 18-yard pickup. Drayden Taylor on the tackle again for the Wildcats. 1st and 10 for the Lumberjacks. 1 receiver near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Barta hands it off again. Gibson stutters off of a couple of defenders, just bounces off of him, and looks like he's got enough for another 1st down up to the 30.
He only got 10 yards on that. Oh, my.
Gibson now has 30 carries on the night.
That is, like we said, I think he was going to exceed it tonight. And they haven't been able to stop him, so you keep going to your bread and butter. But you got to mix it up a little bit, Tim.
Bring Milo Marsh to the near side. Only receiver out this time. Barta pitches it to Gibson. Gibson this time, they're trying to change that up a little bit instead of running it up the middle. Gibson this time right back to the line of scrimmage. Give the tackle to the 50 of Cleat. Brings up 2nd and 10 for the Jacks. Well, I'm kind of wondering that sometimes the offensive line has a hard time on the pass protection. So I almost wonder if you don't work in some screenplays on occasion, because you're kind of letting that defensive line come through anyway.
It's not something that I've seen in their play calling much.
One receiver top of the formation. They're going to throw the ball up and over, and just a little bit too far. He had Milo Marsh open coming across, but just overthrew him. Barta has been off on his accuracy a little bit tonight. He usually doesn't have that many passes that far off. So it's 3rd and 10 for the Lumberjacks. Had the drive moving along nicely, stalled out here at the Wildcat 30. 3rd and long for the Lumberjacks. 2 receivers out this time. Grimaldo to the top. Marsh to the near side. Pitch to DeFort. He finds some nice room up the middle. He's going to make that 4th down attempt a little bit better. Got at least 5.
It's like 6, maybe 10.
Down to the 20, or no, that's the 24.
Yeah, maybe 5.
Shows 6 on my stats, so we'll leave it there. So it's 4th and 4 for the Lumberjacks. Down to the Wildcat 24-yard line. This isn't like a must-have first down, but it's a big one.
It doesn't hurt. You want to score on your first possession. That's a good thing to do.
They're going to hand it off to Gibson. Gibson runs into a pile, still on his feet, tries to push himself forward, and I think he's going to be short by about 2 yards.
Stopped by the Wildcats.
The Lumberjack's slow to get up, but he does get up. That's Brebner. He's heading off to the sideline. 2-yard gain, and they needed 4. Turns the ball over to the Wildcats. They'll take over 1st and 10 from their own 22. 3:34 to go, 3rd quarter. St. Maries still trails 18-16. Wildcats have 3 receivers bunched to the near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Watcott in the pistol, takes the snap. He hands it off. Ball's on the ground. Let's see if the Lumberjacks can come up with it. And they do. Roan Ford with the recovery on the fumble by Kellogg, and the Lumberjacks take over right on the, where is that, the 20-yard line it looks like. So the turnover by the Wildcats. Both teams now even. Both teams have fumbled. St. Mary's new life deep on Wildcat territory.
9-3-6.
1 receiver to the near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Barta under center, takes the snap, hands it to Gibson. Gibson bouncing off of tacklers once again, spinning out of the hold of guys and just taking it to the Wildcat defenders, and it's a big gain. It looks like probably 5 or 6 yards again.
If I'm Gibson, I'm going to want to just rest tomorrow. Get me in a hot tub, but whatever you need to do.
3-9-4. Pick up your money at the concession.
Brings up 2nd and 4. Looks like it's down to the Wildcat 14-yard line. 1 receiver near side. That's Marsh. Wyatt Holmes, top of the formation. Gibson in the backfield. Man goes in motion. And we do have a flag. It was a little bit late coming out, and I think St. Mary's jumped. I seen a Wildcat player jump, but that doesn't matter. They can move around on defense, and one of the Lumberjack guys took off just a tad bit early. Second and a long 8 yards now for St. Mary's up to the 5-yard penalty.
Second and 8 for the Jacks.
Milo Marsh near side as a wide receiver. Is the only receiver out on the formation this time. Barta under center. Other wide receivers are tucked in tight on the far side. Hand off to Gibson. Gibson looking for a crease. And he's going to pick up a couple. Looks like he gets back
to where it was. Well, so we got 3rd and 4.
Now that ball is inside the
3rd and 5 is what they're saying.
It's on like the 14-yard line.
Well, actually, it looks like it's on the 15, Tim. At least by the down marker.
Third and 4. Still comes up, about right with that 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. One receiver to the top of the formation. Now he's going to move in. Nope, he thought he was going to move in tight. Now he bounces back out. That's Wyatt Holmes. Barta takes the snap. Hand off to Gibson. Gibson bounces outside, finds a room, lowers his shoulder.
That's a first down.
And he gets that down inside. Looks like
the 8.
And that's another Lumberjack.
Oh, yeah, down to about the 8-yard line. I was totally not seeing that right.
Well, I'm glad to help you tonight, Tim.
About a 6-yard gain for the Gibson. Minute 26 and counting, 3rd quarter. Lumberjacks driving after the Wildcat turnover. One receiver to the top of the formation. Hand off again to Gibson. Big hole up the middle. Can he get there? And he does, I think. Waiting for the signal.
There it is.
Gibson dives to the end zone for a Lumberjack touchdown. I don't know if that's Gibson's 2nd or 3rd touchdown tonight. I can't remember if Barta scored one of those touchdowns on a push.
He got a point after, I thought.
So the Lumberjacks reclaim the lead. 22-18, 1:12 to go in the 3rd. And see what the Lumberjacks do here on the conversion. Huddled up, more than likely going for 2. Bringing down Kyle Smith to the near side as a wide receiver. Is the only receiver spread out. Barta under center. Takes the snap. Gives it to Gibson and a wide open lane.
Walked in on that one.
Into the end zone. So the Lumberjacks reclaim the lead 24-18 late in the 3rd quarter. 1:12 to go. We'll take a break. Come back with more from Lumberjack Field.
Wondering how to manage your retirement nest egg? How big should it be when you retire? Contact Jenny Oaks at Gateway Financial Partners to get the answers to these and all your other financial questions. The securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC. With over 30 years of financial planning, give Jenny Oaks a call at Gateway Financial Partners today. The guidance is free. The experience is priceless. Call 245-5255. Triple X Feeds in St. Mary's is your one-stop farm and garden shop. Everything from pet supplies to livestock feeds and supplies, Triple X Feeds has it. Horse supplies, they have that also. From saddle pads to bridles, Triple X Feeds can set you up. Triple X Feeds now has hay and alfalfa in stock as well as straw. Triple X Feeds, located at 130 East College Avenue in St. Mary's, open 8 to 5:30 weekdays and 9 to 5 on Saturday. Triple X Feeds, a proud Lumberjack sports broadcast sponsor.
And we are back. The Lumberjacks try the onside kick once again. And the Wildcats, I think, recover this one at their own 48.
48-49, yeah.
Short kick recovered by Kellogg.
They'd anticipate that by now, don't you?
Yeah, but all you're hoping to do is get that odd bounce or something. It doesn't matter if you anticipate it sometimes. If that ball takes a weird hop, or you grab that right as one of the special teams guys from St. Mary's hits you and knocks that ball right out of your hand. 3 receivers to the near side, bunched up, one to the top of the formation. Handoff, one of the rare runs by the Wildcats.
That's why they don't run very much.
I think that is Jackson Mantell with the big tackle for the loss.
Lewis is the ball carrier.
Lewis on the carry, 3-yard loss. First time I've called Jackson's name tonight. Spends most of his time, I think, on the offensive line. 3 receivers again, bunched to the near side, one to the top of the formation. Reed Watcott takes the snap. Looking to throw. Has a lot of pressure coming in. He evades it. Gets around. Is going to scramble down the sideline. He's forced out of bounds by Gibson. Yeah, let's see where they mark that out. If they mark it where Gibson hit him. Looks pretty close to that point. It's going to be
Third
on
and
the
about 3. It's on the 45 of St. Mary's.
4-yard pickup. I'll give Trey the tackle on that. 3rd and 3. 2 receivers near side, 2 to the top of the formation for the Wildcats. Watcott in the pistol. Lewis lined up behind him. Lumberjack's going to jump offside.
Telling you, St. Mary's is just shooting themselves in the foot, though.
Offsides against the Lumberjacks.
Should be an automatic first down for the Wildcats. 1st and 10 up to the 40 of St. Mary's.
I don't think they're going to get this play in with only 5 seconds left.
No, maybe not. 2 to the near side, 2 to the top of the formation. Watcott. Now there we go. Into the 3rd quarter. Lumberjacks lead 24-18. Wildcats moving the ball a little bit. They're at 1st and 10 on the 40 of St. Mary's. We'll be back with the 4th quarter.
For a hard-working, reputable, licensed, and insured construction company in Benoit County? Need a remodel, pole barn, or deck? Whatever your construction needs may be, Colton Construction LLC is waiting for your call. 208-315-7333. Colton Construction LLC licensed, insured, and ready to give you your free estimate today. Give them a call, 208-315-7333. That's 208-315-7333. Colton Construction LLC. Ask about their military discount.
Hey, honey, is this your course schedule for the fall? Yep. Let me see here. English, good. Chemistry, trigonometry, excellent. World history, I love world history. Baseball. Wait, baseball? Baseball isn't a course, honey.
Well, sure it is, Mom. High school sports are about so much more than winning and losing. They teach lessons that can't be taught in a classroom, like accountability and self-discipline, the value of teamwork. I may not be earning a grade, but I'm learning how to compete later in life. Isn't that what getting a good education is all about?
And we are back. Have to cut that one off a little short. Wildcats taking the ball. They're going to get it bottled up in the backfield. I think it was going to be a run by Watcott. He's brought down by Jackson Nantel for a couple of yard loss.
See, now you called Jackson's name twice in just less than 4 plays.
On the run for Kellogg.
Looks like a 5-yard loss on that, too. That was a lot bigger loss than I thought it was. Why does that say 2nd and 5, though?
15 is what it should be.
Yeah. The ball is on the 45. Wildcat's going to throw it. Incomplete.
Nantel smelled that one out, too. He was right there on that play.
So it brings up 3rd and long for the Wildcats on the Lumberjack 45-yard line. 4 wide receivers set, 3 to the top, 1 to the near side. Watcott in the pistol. Takes that snap, looking to throw, looking like a little bit of a screen play, and it is. It's going to be incomplete. Intended for Blalick. Gibson right there to lay the hit on him if he catches that.
Now it's 4th down and 15 on the 45 of St. Mary's.
I find it funny how we can, that was obviously a screen that they're trying to set up in the middle when you start seeing those the defensive linemen
we see it further away. We see it further away.
Yeah.
And when you're down right on that field, you sometimes don't pick it up.
Well, I think sometimes you'll hear them if they do notice it. You'll hear some of the kids yelling, screen.
But they don't see it that often,
Yeah.
so it's very hard to pick up sometimes.
4 receivers set for the Wildcats, but they are going to punt. It's going to be a fair catch by Grimaldo at about the 24. I think it was 33, McDonald with the punt.
McDonald was a punter for Kellogg, my mistake. First and 10 Lumberjacks.
Fair catch for St. Mary's. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 25. And this is when the Lumberjacks want to put together a long, sustained drive.
It wouldn't hurt.
I guess if you can hit a big one and score right away,
You'll
but
take your points however you get them.
the Lumberjacks come out with 2 wide receivers. Hammed off to Gibson. Gibson powers forward, picks up about 5. The tackle by Williams.
All St. Mary's 30. Just under 11 minutes in the quarter.
2nd and 5 for the Lumberjacks. Jack Barta comes running and get that play call in. Kyle Smith to the top of the formation. Grimaldo down here to the bottom. Barta under center. Gibson takes the handoff. Gibson finds room to run. He's going to get tripped up at the last second.
And he got the first down.
Tripped up by the last second. I think it was by Lewis. And it was.
Tackle was made by Story, and that's another Lumberjack.
Just across to the 36-yard line.
Ken Jackson now at 36.
Lumberjacks again in their huddle, breaking the huddle. Again, Kyle Smith to the top of the formation. He's the lone receiver split out. Other receivers tied in on the end of the line of scrimmage. Barta under center. Takes the snap. Hand off to Gibson. Gibson finds some room to run. Lowers his shoulder. Takes it up to about the 44-yard line.
About 3 yards short.
Gain of 7. It's going to be 2nd and 3 for the Packs now. The ball on the Lumberjack 44.
40 carries for Gibson tonight. I'm going to say, if there's no spectacular other play, it's leaning more and more towards our Taco Bell being 3 times in a row. One receiver to the top of the formation. Hand off to Gibson. Gibson, again, powering through tacklers. Gets about 4 yards, 4 or 5 yards.
Gibson on the carry, and that's another Lumberjack.
1st and 10 for St. Mary's, up to their own 48-yard line. Gibson's going to actually get a breather this time as he heads to the sideline. He just sat. He didn't sit down. He laid down over there. Gibson's been a workhorse tonight for St. Mary's.
Put some Gatorade in that boy.
Yeah. And snap, handoff. This time it's to the 23 for the Lumberjacks. That is Year Out. He's going to pick up about 4.
Year Out on the carry. Gain of 2.
2.
2nd and 8. Ball right on the midfield stripe.
Second down and 8 to go for the Lumberjacks. I mean, you got to give Gibson a little bit of time, but right now is when you almost need him out there, too. Changing the personnel around as Wyatt Holmes heads off.
Grimaldo came in on that.
Grimaldo to the near side is a wide receiver. 2nd and 8. Pitch out to Year Out. He sheds one tackler, tries to cut upfield. He's going to gain about a yard. Tackled by Hall.
And Gibson coming back in. Guess who's going to get the ball, my guess?
No gain.
There was about a yard gain. That ball was across the Kellogg territory now.
About the 48-yard line. Only 7:43 left in the game.
So it's about third and a long 6 yards. One receiver top, one receiver bottom for the Lumberjacks. Hand off to Gibson. Gibson powers through the hole, bounces off some tacklers, carries it all the way across, down to the 36 or 37, and a Lumberjack first down.
That's another Lumberjack.
An 11-yard pickup by Gibson.
Dump on the tackle for Kellogg.
McDonald, I think they said, on the tackle. Lumberjacks just pounding it up the middle right now. Jack taking a little bit of time getting the play down here. He looks over and says, I better get to moving. Don't want to have a delay a game. Grimaldo down here to the near side. Again, Gibson in the backfield. The handoff to Gibson. Gibson again getting through tackles. Stutters, standing, stumbles, carries a defender all the way down inside the 15.
2 or 3 Kellogg players who took a ride with him.
To about the 11-yard line. Maybe the 12.
Yep, looks like that's where they're placing.
No, what do I got? That's 12 yards. Okay, they took that all the way down to the
12-yard line.
Yeah, that was 25-yard gain by Gibson.
First and 10 Lumberjacks and the Wildcats.
Again, 2 wide receivers set, 1 to each side of the formation. Gibson in the backfield. Man goes in motion this time. Handoff again to Gibson. Gibson tries to follow his blockers, tries to get outside. He's going to get that down to the 10. So he does pick up a couple.
He picked up about 3 on that.
Down to the 10, it's going to be second and 8. McDonald on the tackle for Kellogg.
Again, McDonald making the tackle for the Wildcats. Lumberjacks taking some time in getting their play in because they want to milk that clock a little bit.
Down to 5:50.
1 receiver to the near side. That's Wyatt Holmes. Barta under center. Gibson again in the backfield. Hands it off to Gibson. Gibson to the right side of the line. Stutters through a couple of tackles. Dives. Touchdown, Lumberjacks. So a nice for the Lumberjacks. Burns about 4 minutes off the clock.
That, Tim. They had that at the 11 minutes. They knocked off about 6 minutes there, which is a nice job.
And Lumberjacks stretched that lead 30-18.
That's a 2-score game now, and if they get this in, it's going to make it a little tougher.
And this time they do have Riley out there. I think they're going to give him a shot at an extra point. They got to hurry. There is still a timer on this play as well. So we got an extra point attempt coming by Riley Abel. He's been working in practice on this. The snap. It's down.
Oh, look at that.
It's big, booming leg, but it's just wide. He's got the leg, Clark. So it's wide left on the extra point attempt. Lumberjacks, though, lead by 12. 30-18 over the Wildcats. We'll be back.
Well, yes, of course it is.
What can teenagers here in Idaho learn from participating in high school sports? Plenty, as it turns out. That's why they're called education-based athletics.
High school sports. There's so much more than just a game.
This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
St. Maries Realty is a St. Maries icon. Why? Because they are a team. They work for you. And they've been a team for many years. Whether you are buying your first home, looking for a recreational cabin, or selling your current home, St. Maries Realty puts their team on it for you. So stop in or give them a call today at 245-4502 and let their team be your team. That's St. Maries Realty at 726 Main Avenue, St. Maries.
Yeah, we are back. Time winding down, just over halfway through the fourth quarter. Lumberjacks lead 13-18 over the Kellogg Wildcats. Kickoff by Riley Abel. Fielded at the 32.
And basically taken down at the 32. He may have gotten a yard or two. I don't know. But that's great kickoff coverage.
Holborn with the return for Kellogg. It will be first and 10 Wildcats.
And I was paying attention who had the tackle, and then I...
And the ball is on the 31-yard line.
So no return. And I didn't see who made the tackle. So I did see you, and then I forgot.
That's good news.
4 wide receiver set. Going deep for the Wildcats. Ooh, what are we going to get there? Yeah. Too much hand fighting by Isaiah Gustav there. The ball was, I think, somewhat overthrown. I don't think he was going to get to it.
It doesn't matter. You can't put your hands on it like that.
No, you can't. Not like that.
Flag on the play. That's interference on the Lumberjacks.
So it moves the Wildcats up to their own 46-yard line, 47, somewhere in there.
First and 10 Wildcats on their own 40.
1 receiver to the near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Looks like everybody else in tight for blocking. Going to get the pass. Wildcat rolls out, pressured. Going to get the pass just over the top of a Lumberjack defender. Completed the haul. Haul slides out of bounds. No, did they say incomplete or say caught? No, it is caught. Looks like he picked up 9. 8 yards.
You can't slack off just because you have a 2-score lead.
2 receivers out again for the Wildcats. Wildcat takes the snap, looks to throw, goes into the flat, just leads his man a little bit too far, intended for Lewis.
Third and 2 now for the Wildcats.
3rd down and 2 for Kellogg. Looks like they've got that same set. They've got 1 receiver each side of the formation. Wildcat in shotgun or in pistol. Lewis behind him. Quick little slant. In and out of the hands of
you can't
Coburn.
drop those. He had a lot of field once he caught that ball, if he caught that ball.
Well, that's one thing watching film that their Wildcats do struggle with a little bit is drop passes. St. Mary's struggles on the penalty side of things sometimes, and Kellogg has the drop.
Well, here it is, 4th and 2 yards right here.
Well,
See what happens.
When you throw it as much as Kellogg does, it's bound to happen.
And their run game has not been existent tonight.
2 receivers near side, 1 to the top. 4th and 2. They're going to throw it over the middle. Caught.
Slant.
Intended. Caught by Coburn. Brought down by Gustav. It's a first down to just about the 31.
Oh, no, it's back to the 33. Still a first down.
12-yard pickup.
The Lumberjack 33.
3 receivers bunched to the far side, 1 to the near side. Wildcat takes the snap, looks to throw. He's got pressure coming at him. He hangs in there, gets it out. And a diving attempt at the interception is Grimaldo, but he can't quite get there as he laid out for it. Wildcat had Lumberjack defenders closing from each side. And stood there patiently and calmly under
We
pressure.
still had a little more time than what we've been seeing for Varda.
Looks like the Wildcats go back to the 1 receiver to the top, 1 receiver to the bottom. 2nd and 10. Wildcat in the pistol, takes the snap. Looks to throw again, of course. Going to go deep once again. Far sideline. Caught, but is he out of bounds?
They called him in.
He catches it in bounds. Nice pitch and catch. That's the number 45 with the catch, Blalick.
See, they moved that ball down very well in just a matter of a minute and a half.
And that's all the way down to the
5-yard line, it looks like.
First goal.
That's what we'll call it. 1st and goal for the Wildcats. 4:21 to go. St. Mary's leads 30-18. Wildcats take the snap. Rolling to the near side is Wildcat. He's going to throw it. Caught.
Incomplete. Out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Gustav on coverage with Trey Gibson.
Even if he caught it, he would have been basically at the 5-yard line still.
Intended for Taylor. 2nd goal for the Wildcats. Looks like the Wildcats have 2 receivers to the top, 2 receivers to the bottom. These receivers are stacked, one behind the other. Wildcat in the pistol. Lewis lined up behind him, takes the snap, looking to the far side, finds a man open on a slant. Can the Lumberjacks keep him out? Gibson makes the tackle.
And they do keep him out.
Gibson and Holmes makes the tackle.
So now we got 3rd and goal, about a yard from the touchdown. This is making them meet that clock some though. That's a good. This is a good defensive hold right
Did you say
here.
that was down to like the 1?
It looks like it's to the 1 or the 2-yard line. 1-yard line.
Gibson and Holmes on the tackle to at least keep that touchdown
And
from
clock's
happening.
having to run too.
Yeah.
That's what's.
Wildcat to throw, flips it to Lewis, and Lumberjacks.
There's
Oh,
the
there's
penalty
going to
on
be
Kellogg. A block in the back.
Yeah.
That's going to be on Kellogg.
It was completed to number 2, I believe, right?
Walk in the back with the call against the Wildcats.
I'm not sure if that's a 10 or 15 yard.
We'll find out as the referee goes the right direction. And he certainly did go the right direction.
Does it look like it was 10?
It's a 10-yard penalty, so it's on the 11-yard line, third down, and goal.
Yep. Again, like you said, just burning that clock to him. I thought the penalty might have stopped the clock.
And only for a moment.
So 2 receivers near side, 2 to the top of the formation. The Wildcats have had a nice drive going, but they've been able to keep that clock rolling. And it looked deep, and I'm not sure, confusion on the receiver.
He's wanting a defensive hold, but there isn't any such thing on that.
Well, I don't know if he was. He was looking back at his coaches, kind of like, I don't know what the play was. So incomplete brings up 4th and goal from the 11.
3:07 left in the game right here.
St. Mary's can get the stop. They won't really have to worry about much.
Now it's 33:07, but that's, we know better.
We know it's 3:07.
I guess they just want to give Kellogg another few minutes to try.
Man in motion, Wildcat looking. Good coverage by Brock Anderson, incomplete.
And that'll be a change on downs right there. Turnover on downs.
So the ball,
3:02 left.
Yeah. So the Lumberjacks just need to get a few plays going.
Here, I'm going to
set your timer.
Set my timer. See if I can't help keep us on track.
Well, at least it says 33:02. It's still 3 minutes. We know where that's at. So just take that first 3 off of there, and we know where the clock is at least if they run it that way.
So here we go. I've got it.
So the Lumberjacks, I expect, of course, a heavy dose of run right here to try to run this clock out. Wildcats, I think, still have at least 2 timeouts. St. Mary's can hold on. It'll be their first win of the season in a big league game. 1 receiver, hand off to Gibson to see if they can't salt this away. Tough running on that one, about 3 yards possibly for Gibson. Timeout taken, looks like, by the Wildcats. 4 yards.
Gain of 4 on the play. It'll be second and a long 6.
4. We'll take a quick timeout. Timeout from the Wildcats.
Riverbend Car Wash and Laundromat, located next to Harvest Foods in St. Mary's. Open 24 hours, we have washers and dryers of all sizes to get your laundry done quickly. If you'd like to get your laundry done in less than 5 minutes, take advantage of our drop-off laundry service where we wash, dry, and fold it for you. While you do your laundry, be sure to take advantage of our touchless automatic car wash, which has that great undercarriage spray to get the grime off. Riverbend Car Wash and Laundromat can be found at riverbendbubbles.com or call 208-582-4844.
And we are back. The Wildcats have to burn timeouts. They're trying to preserve some time on the clock with 2:55 to go now.
Well, let's be honest, the clock does say 32.
Yeah,
and we know better.
Wildcats down by 2 scores, though. So Lumberjacks, if they can just get a couple of first downs here, they can salt this away. Tough, hard-fought battle here, though, between 2 teams that know each other well. Always fun games to watch, no matter what sport they're playing.
Nothing like those basketball games last year, I'll tell you.
Sounds like Ripley and Colby are doing really well up in the University of Miami also. Ooh,
That's
false
nice
start.
to hear. That wasn't necessary.
I seen something my daughter showed me. I think it was which one? Ripley's the quarterback, and he was Scout Player of the Week, one of the Scout Team Players of the Week, which, you know, is probably a pretty big deal when it comes to some of that stuff. He's a freshman, so, you know, when you get some sort of a recognition like that, you're doing something right. So it should be 2nd and 10, or 2nd and looks like 12 actually, after the false start. Going to get a snap, hand off to Gibson. Gibson powers through. I don't know where he finds the openings. That's almost a first down. Might be a first down.
Gibson on the carry.
And it is a first down.
That's another Lumberjack.
12-yard pickup and another timeout taken by the Wildcats. Gibson keeps this up. He'll be over really close to 400
yards at this rate.
Hi.
You tell me there's someone else we can talk about it. Seriously. Even some wonderful play is going to out of the workhorse mentality.
No, in my the way I like last week, I could have easily gone with Gibson again, but I wanted to give it to a kid that I hadn't called too many times the first couple of games, and he had a heck of a game last week, and that was John Kennelly at the last part of the game. And I kind of said that, if there's a game where it's a close game, maybe the opposing team is going down to maybe take the lead and we get an interception, that kid could be the player of the game off of one play, but we haven't really had that tonight, so it's going to be, I think, pretty easy to pick our Taco About It player of the game. Run for the Lumberjacks. I think this was a keeper by Barta. Four-yard pickup a 4 for Barta.
See, no timeouts called on this one. They may be out of them now.
Probably so. Got to be under 2 minutes.
I got 2:20 so far.
St. Mary's breaks the huddle up to the line of scrimmage. Grimaldo near side wide receiver. Barta waiting, watching for the signal from the ref to make sure to know he's getting down to that last 10 seconds of the play clock. Now there's that signal. Barta takes the snap, keeps it himself. Take that pressure off of Gibson.
Now we have a timeout.
Was it?
They called it Kellogg. They had one left. And now that it's third down, I believe, and about 3 or 4 yards, and now we'll get a handoff to Gibson.
That was about a 3-yard pickup, I think.
And I've got 1:46 left, according to my timer.
3 now for the Jacks.
So that's what the Wildcats were waiting until that third down play to get it to third instead. Yeah, we'll see if they give it to Gibson or if they just let Barta. Gibson's been the workhorse tonight.
Definitely. That is definitely.
Maybe he deserves that final run to help salt the clock away if that's the way it goes. But I think I don't even think he had his helmet off on the sideline. Nope, he's got it back on. Nope. Does he? Is he out there? Yeah, he does. So we've got everybody, receiver to the near side, Gibson in the backfield, Barta under center. Barta takes a snap, hands it off to Gibson. Gibson finds room to run, still on his feet, pushing the pile, still on his feet, up to the 45-yard line.
That should ice it, Kim. The clock stops for a moment.
14-yard gain for Gibson to basically probably finish this game off. Great game by the Wildcats. Great
Gibson
game by the Lumberjacks. St. Mary's going to come out of this with a 1-3 record, 1-0 in league play. The league one is the biggest one that matters. Obviously, some of those other games help towards max preps, but supposedly the games we play against Washington don't affect it that much. Coach is working on next year not having any of those games against Washington schools, so there's no knee on here for that, so just going to do that. As Lumberjacks in victory formation here tonight against the Wildcats.
I've got 1:20 left.
Hats off to the Wildcats. Played very hard tonight, very well. Fought good. Fell into a 18-0 hole, or was it 16-0 hole early?
Came back and took the lead.
And St. Mary's has been able to keep the Wildcats from scoring here in the second half. St. Mary's, I think, is scored twice in the second half?
I think so. Yeah. 2 touchdowns.
Next on the docket for the Lumberjacks, a road game to a tough Timberlake Tigers team next week over in Spirit Lake, Idaho. We will be on the road. At least I will be. Clark doesn't typically make those road games.
Get that one. We'll see what happens here.
Timberlake really good this year. Really good almost every year. Tough team.
Good athletes up there.
The final 30-18 in favor of the Lumberjacks here tonight against the Kellogg Wildcats. Take a quick short break and come back and wrap things up here from Lumberjack Field. When your car's not running right, you want an honest mechanic that provides quality work at an affordable price. That can be tough unless your dad owns a repair shop. But in St. Mary's, times have changed.
you have Jim's Auto, and they treat every customer like family. Get everything from regular maintenance to major repairs done at Jim's Auto and Tire Pros. Jim's Auto doesn't just offer oil changes. They're a full-service shop. Jim's Auto can diagnose that check engine light, change your brakes, and fix your alignment. Ask about Jim's Auto's new Express Lane with same-day or next-day oil and tire services. And don't forget, Jim's Auto is an authorized Tire Pros dealer with nationwide warranty, service protection plan, and free roadside assistance. Jim's Auto and Tire Pros, located at 69 Milwaukee Road, St. Maries. And we are back, and one more shout out to Nellie's Kitchen, Nellie's Diner over there at the River City.
How about the Pines Shopping Mall?
We'll call it that because I all of a sudden can't remember what the name of that shopping center is over there. But Nellie's Restaurant, of course, open all day. Well, not all day. Open until 1 o'clock for all-day breakfast. And they've got great breakfasts over there, so be sure to stop by and eat yourself some Slumgolian or giant Denver omelet, a giant cinnamon roll. You know, they got lots of options to choose from. You can always tell Sean and Stacy that we sent you when we told you to give them a hard time because they enjoy it. Anyway, St. Maries wins tonight. First win of the season, 30-18 over the Wildcats. A tough Wildcat opponent. We knew they would be. And it was a battle for sure. The Wildcats did a lot of stuff through the air. St. Maries did all their damage on the ground. And boy, howdy, I am bummed to say, Clark, that Trey came 9 yards short.
Oh, well. Maybe we should give it to somebody else then.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve
only
it now.
391 yards is not worthy of anything.
So some team totals here. St. Maries ran 82 plays tonight, Clark. The Wildcats, 46. Total yards for the Lumberjacks, 444 yards. The Wildcats had 186 yards. St. Maries had just 28 yards passing. Kellogg with 173. On the ground, 416 yards for the Lumberjacks, 13 yards for the Wildcats. St. Maries totaled 22 first downs. Kellogg with 13. The Lumberjacks, 38% on third down conversion, 6 of 16, while the Wildcats were 25%, 2 for 8. Fourth down efficiency, 2 for 7 for St. Maries, 1 for 3 for the Wildcats. Both teams had a fumble apiece, and that was kind of a help for St. Maries. I think they might have both scored off those turnovers. I don't remember 100%. No interceptions tonight by either side, and that's always a good thing. Scoring, let's see here. We had Trey Gibson got things started with a 34-yard run, and then it was also Trey Gibson with a 1-yard run on the first 2 scores of the first quarter. Second quarter, it was all Wildcats, I think. It was a 14-yard touchdown pass, a 12-yard run by Reed Watcott, and then a 20-yard touchdown pass from Watcott. St. Maries did get the benefit of a safety late in the second quarter, and that gave us that 18-16 score with the Kellogg Wildcats on top. Second half, St. Maries scored in the third quarter on an 8-yard run from Gibson, and then a 10-yard run from Gibson in the fourth quarter. So that answers my question. It was all Gibson on the touchdowns tonight as well. That makes that very easy of a decision. Barta, 2 of 12 passing, 28 yards. He's a little bit off the target tonight. I mean, he did get pressured a bit, so that does throw you off the mark a little, but when he does get some time to throw, he's pretty accurate. It's going to be nice to see if they can get that offensive line to get a little bit better in the pass protection as the season goes on. Because, I mean, you've got Gibson, but I just don't know if you can rely on him to do that game in and game out.
No, that's not that many yards anyway.
Especially 47 carries, 391 yards, 4 touchdowns, 34 yards was his long, and he had a 2-point conversion as well. Hayden DeFort contributed 15 yards. Jack Barta contributed 6. Aiden Yearout contributed 4. Hayden DeFort had 1 catch for 19 yards. Jarrett Brebner, 1 catch for 9. Unofficially on the tackles, I usually have to go back through and kind of source these out and make sure they're correct because the rosters are not right in here, so they don't credit some of the guys with tackles that need them. But Trey Gibson, 3 tackles, 1 assist. Julian Grimaldo, 3 tackles. Cole Darnold, 2 tackles. Jackson Nantel had 2 tackles. Thought he had 1 tackle for a loss, too, but that's not showing up there. Hayden DeFort had 1 tackle and 1 tackle for loss. Rowan Ford had a tackle and a fumble recovery. And I know there's a couple of other guys. Brock Anderson had a couple of tackles. John Kennelly had a couple of tackles.
So that's about it.
Don't forget Jackson, man. That was a great game for him tonight.
But Clark, talk about it, player of the game tonight.
It was close, but I'm going to give it to Trey.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 games. Trey Gibson eating tacos every week from Taco About It down there across from XXX Feeds. Thank you for your sponsorship of our player of the game. If you haven't tried Taco About It yet, definitely get down there and do so.
Taco About It might have to give another one out for the runner-up. We can find a runner-up.
But that's going to do it for us tonight. St. Mary's at Kellogg or at Timberlake next week. Tomorrow, wishing good luck to the girls and boys soccer. They are headed to Grangeville. The girls play at noon, boys play at 2. The volleyball team, it's just varsity tomorrow, and the varsity hosting Grangeville at 1 o'clock. Like I said earlier, I think the JV team's suffering for some injuries, so they haven't been able to play the last several games that were scheduled for them. So we hope the JV team gets healthy, gets back to action soon.
Before you close it out, one more time, Craig, if you're listening, my prayers are with you, buddy. Let me know if there's anything I can be doing for you.
We've got Vandal football tomorrow at 1. They're playing Cal. And Sunday, Seahawks at the Lions, looking to bounce back from a tough home loss to the Rams last week.
And my Cowboys are playing at the same time, so guess what I'm watching?
Well, thanks, Clark, for coming out. Thanks
pleasure.
for Sandy manning the board and making sure everything stays on the air back at the studio. Thanks for everybody listening tonight. We hope that everybody has a great weekend. And we'll see you next week for Lumberjack football.
You've been listening to another production of Lumberjack Sports on KOFE 1240 St. Mary's, your Lumberjack Sports Network. We thank you for tuning in and hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We also want to thank our Lumberjack Sports broadcast sponsors and hope you'll do the same. Without them, these broadcasts wouldn't be possible. Until next time, same as always, go Lumberjack!